Hello, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening. It's different time zones all over the world. My name is Toyosi, and welcome everyone to this Zoom meeting. We're
Hello,
also live
everyone. Good
on.
afternoon
Oh,
or good evening.
I need to
It's different
pause.
time zones all over the world. My name is Tess.
Okay, I had to mute YouTube because we're also live on YouTube. So yeah. So today we just I thought to have this Q&A session so anybody can ask their question. So it's a free for all show. If you have questions, please ask. That's the point of this. We have people here who can answer your questions, and it's just like we do on the WhatsApp groups. You can ask a question, someone can answer, but this time maybe you get a direct response here. So I will just summarize what the EB2 is in 5 minutes. I do not like formality, so that explains the way why I talk this way. Okay. The EB2 means employment-based visa. It's a pathway to get your green card and stay here in America. What it technically means is you are a person who has exceptional ability or who is a professional in your field. You are someone who has something valuable that you can bring into the United States of America. So you petition the government that, hey, this is me. I am this wonderful person. I I've been doing this research, or I have this business that I've been running for a while, or that I hope to start running. I have this non-governmental association that have opened, or I will open. It does not have to be just research. It can be anything really in the arts, sciences, in business, cuts across all fields. So you petition the US government and then you request for a waiver. The NIW means National Interest Waiver. So you request for a waiver that they waive the labor certification request to allow you get your green card, stay in America or come into America and do what you propose to do. That's basically what the EB2 NIW means. Now, there are two stages to this. The first stage is the I-140 stage. The second stage is the I-485 stage. And for people who are not already in America, who are in the UK, who are in Australia, who are in African countries, Nigeria, Ghana, and the likes, you go through the National Visa Center, the NVC pathway. It's the same whether you are in America or you're outside, you still have to apply to get the green card after you have been granted the national interest waiver. The national interest waiver, the first step costs $700. The application is $700, and you can pay either by money order or check, or you can also use a credit card. For people that are outside America, if you have someone in America that can help you pay, it's allowed. If you want to use a lawyer to help you make this payment and to do this process, that is also allowed. You can also use certified consultants. In the forms, the USCIS put it in the forms. Maybe you are someone that speaks your language. English is not your first language. If you use somebody to help you put together the forms and all that, there is also the option for you to, there are options on the forms for you to take to show that you did not fill it yourself. Someone helped you to fill the forms. So now back to the EB2 NIW. So when you apply for the I-140 and you get an approval, you are supposed, and you get an approval, that's the I-140 approval, you then apply for the green card. While the EB2 NIW is $700, the green card it costs differently, like the cost is different. So usually you apply, if you are in America, say you are on F1 visa, you are on visiting visa, you are on J1 visa, whatever visa you are on while you are in America, you can apply for you will apply for the I-485 form, that is adjustment of status form. But while you apply for this, you are also supposed to submit the I-765 form and the I-130 form. These two forms allows you to get an employment authorization. Now, they give you an employment authorization pending the time your green card would be approved, because it takes quite a while. So you can get the employment authorization and you are able to work while your green card is that they are working on that. And also you can get the advanced parole, which allows you to travel out of America and come back into the country. Now, I will explain this in a simple way. If you're on F1 visa and you want to travel to Nigeria, for instance, while you're on F1 visa, you usually have to go through your school international office, and they have to give you a form like that approve you to go out of America so that you can come back in. Now, when you start using, if you get the I-140 approval and you get an employment authorization form and you start using your employment authorization form, you are no longer on F1 or J1 or B1 visa anymore. So the advanced parole is what gives you that authorization to go outside the country and come back. If you have something, you can always go out of the country and come back at any time that you so desire. So that's what that is about. Now, this other process, the I-485 process, is that's the main green card application. It's different. It costs, I think currently it's about $1,225, but you also have to do medicals from a USCIS certified doctor to check if you do not have, if you have taken vaccines, maybe like meningitis B vaccines and the likes, to ensure that you are not going to be a medical, you're not going to cause any problem technically. But then also, it's also good for us to know our health status, right? So yeah, that's it. So I think I've summarized what these two processes mean in its entirety. The I-140 part is the most, I would say it's the hard part. If you get the I-140 approval, it's almost certain, very certain that you will get the green card. But if you do not get the I-140 approval, then you cannot get the green card. The I-140 approval, it depends for everybody. You have to write a petition to the US government. In that petition, you will state clearly what you intend to do to the country, more like what do you bring to the table. So, let me pause here and ask if anyone has any questions so that we can start going from there. So if you have any questions, please raise your hands. And okay, we have people already raising their hands. So I'll ask you to unmute yourself and you can just speak. There is no formality to this. It's just us having a nice discussion on New Year Day.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. And thank you so much for organizing this. So my question is, I'm currently on OPT and I'm planning to submit my petition pretty soon, but I also want to apply for my STEM extension. So I'm wondering, would that affect anything?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
I'm currently on OPT and I'm planning to apply for the STEM extension. And alongside, I also want to submit my petition pretty soon, at least in the coming months. So, and I'm wondering, would that affect my STEM extension, my OPT process?
Based on our previous experience with people that have done what you did, no, you do not have any problem. Oh, and by the way, you can apply for, say for instance, you are on H-1B and your company already put you in the pool and you have already been shortlisted. You can apply for different visa pathways at the same time, meaning you can apply for employment-based visa, you can apply for marriage visa and H-1B all at the same time. It is the one that your green card comes out. Then your green card, whichever one clicks first, is the one you go with. So, have I answered your question?
Yes, you have. Thank you. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask multiple
Oh
questions.
yeah, shoot, go for it. Shoot.
Kind of had a list already before this thing. Thank you so much. So The prong where you have to say you're well positioned to advance your endeavor. There's an argument referring back to chapter 5 of the USCIS field manual. It says a petitioner holding an advanced STEM degree tied to the proposed endeavor and related work to furthering a critical and emerging technology or other STEM area important to the US competitiveness or national security should be considered especially a positive factor if the person has particularly a PhD degree. So I was wondering, I have a master's. They said particularly. They didn't say it has to be like specifically. I was wondering if I could argue with that clause, having that I have a master's degree. I don't know if it's a safe route to take.
Barrister Fola, do you want to answer?
Yeah, so I'm not even sure if I got it well. So you're saying, can you just summarize it again? I heard particularly the PhD requirements.
Yes, so there's a clause that says if you have a PhD in the STEM field and it's related to your endeavor, they said particularly, but I have a master's, not a PhD. So I wanted to use that clause, but I didn't put the PhD because I do not have a PhD. So I was wondering if it's safe to have that argument in my petition.
Yeah, you can have it, so they're just saying, particularly like more of like, oh, maybe if someone has a PhD, then, it will be, they'll be more willing to look at that argument without scrutinizing it further. But if you have a master's, they'll still look at it. They might just scrutinize it further to say, okay, is this thing really, is it really meritorious? But you can still make the argument. I mean, remember that the requirement is you have advanced degree, and advanced degree is pretty much bachelor's plus 5 years and above, or master's and PhD, so you're good.
Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that. Then my last question, I hope my question helps other people too. So if you write about projects and you also have a recommender also acknowledge those projects, is it a requirement that you have to kind of like show proof or evidence of those projects? So some of the projects I worked on, they are projects with company and I don't have access to that data. So I can't even reach that except my recommender who has put it down in writing. I was wondering, is it a must?
I mean, the recommender, that's helpful, but, even if you don't have let's say the exact project itself, like, a slam dunk evidence, if you have something that you can add to what the recommender has put to show like an independent thing. So maybe, for instance, there was like a media publication or a short extract somewhere that you can lay claim to, then it helps, because at the end of the day, they also look at it that, okay, recommender sometimes may be your friend, except that person is an independent recommender that they know you don't have any access to get them to write what you want, just because you want it to be written. So if the person is not an independent recommender, then it will carry some weight, but not so much weight, because they don't have an independent means to corroborate that thing that you've said. So it's always good to bear in mind that whatever evidence that you're giving, even whatever the recommender is saying, you have an independent evidence to back it up. So what the recommender is doing is just to add additional flavor. But if there's no independent evidence and one is just relying on what the recommender says, it's not good enough for them most time, because there have been a number of RFPs where they'll say, oh, your recommender has said all these nice things about you, but we want to see independent evidence of these nice things without necessarily relying only on what your recommender says. That your recommender is just backing up the independent evidence. Your recommender is not supposed to be the independent evidence. Do you get?
Yeah, I get you. Thank you. Then my last question is, so my endeavor is based off a manuscript I worked on, a research manuscript. Am I supposed to include the whole manuscript because it's up to 15 pages? And I have other research I worked on. Do you include all the pages, or you just include like the first page or a cover page?
I mean, for like this one, the manuscript that's 15 pages is not that much, to be honest. You can put everything, right? But if it was like so much, what you can do is, put like the cover page, the abstracts, the key points. If there's the table of content that points to the page that you really want to exhibit, you can put the table of content, then now put the real page you want to exhibit. And another thing, even when you're putting evidence, highlight the important parts that is relevant. You can use electronic highlighter, like on your system, highlight it or use biro, a contrasting biro to highlight it. Because if you just put a lot of documents for them without highlighting the necessary parts, it's not really helpful to your case, because the reviewer might not have that patience to go through everything or might not understand it. You get, but if a pointer has been put to direct them to where to look at in your exhibits, in your supporting documents, then they know what to focus on, and that will help the review of your case.
Okay. Thank you so much. Those are all my questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much for your question. Shalom?
Oh, yes, I have a question. So I'm currently waiting for my OPT card to come in. So I was wondering, should I wait until it comes in to file for the EB2 NIW, or should I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. That was my question. And do
Okay.
you guys have any resources for like non-STEM students? Because I'm a non-STEM student and my master's is in international development. So I was looking for someone to help me like narrow down my purpose of endeavor, because I know that's what's gonna make or break my application.
Okay. So for the most part, people that the common people that do this pathway are usually people in STEM, and that's why we have so many resources for people in STEM.
Yeah,
But people that are non-STEM also do this. Like for instance, I did communications, like mass
yeah,
communications. So yeah, so
yeah,
normal people also do this too. But like getting our non-STEM people to provide, samples of what, like people in your field, international relations and the likes, it's not
yeah,
so common, you get. Yeah, but yes, they
yeah,
do get it. The template actually can be applied for all, regardless, like whether you're in STEM or you're non-STEM, it's just a matter of you tweaking and fitting yourself. Like, okay, for instance, for publications, publications are publications, regardless of whether you are in science or you are in performing arts. So
yes,
yes, so your analysis, your research, what your findings are, all of those things, you can put it there, like how valuable. For I know, for instance, one person, the endeavor was on how to help, during the Black Lives Matter era. I want to just use a practical
yeah,
example. During the Black Lives Matter era, the argument was that many Black Americans are not well, they were not well. I don't want to say the wrong words because this is a public medium, but they feel like they are not well treated in the country. So that's why the whole Lives Matter thing erupted. However, there are actually other inner issues between blacks to black people. For instance, some Black Americans are hostile towards African, like Nigerian American or Ghanaian American, because they feel like they come from their
yeah,
country to take their space. So that person's endeavor was simply on doing research that helps to curb this problem, so that now we are saying currently so many Black people feel maltreated. Some Nigerian, Ghanaian Americans and all of that, they also feel maltreated by Black Americans. They feel like they have this vendetta against them. And that was the person's proposed endeavor. And it got approved for it. So, and the person used it just a normal simple template that we have put there, the STEM one. It's just I think it's a matter of what are you
narrowing
doing?
it down.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know if I answered the question, but if either Barrister Fola or Olu wants to ship something in.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's I mean, the document, the policy document clearly states anyone in arts, business, education, sciences. So it's not just sciences. I mean, even though again, they might say that for those in STEM and all that, it might be easier to make the argument, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible for those in non-STEM to make the argument. You just have to be able to put in more work and articulate your case, like, Dorothy has said. So the fact that you're in arts or you're in non-STEM, it doesn't exclude you, because the policy actually clearly states that arts, business, education, sciences are eligible.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. We go to the next person. Lillian, I think she's not online. We have a question from the chat box, so I'll read it out now.
Hello, good morning, and Happy New Year.
Hi, Lillian. Good morning. But can you hold on? We want to ask a question from the chat. Okay. This is from Nnamdi. It says, can we shed more light on the exceptional ability route for EB2? My department doesn't give masters, but I'll be done with my PhD this May. Would you advise I wait until I graduate or apply using the exceptional ability route? Number one thing I want to say to you is this. Even if you start writing it now, you may possibly not submit it until around that May anyway. But then Olu and Barrister Fola, if you have anything to chip in.
I mean, I agree, to be honest, because even if you said, you're ready by, say, March, you start writing by this January and everything is ready by March, because remember, you have to get recommendation letters, unless you already have those things in place, right? When you wait that, okay, if I wait an additional 2 months and the visa bulletin is probably not moving that much within those 2 months anyway, I might as well wait to have the PhD so that I have a stronger case. Because if you're going through the exceptional ability route, yes, you can go through it. But remember that with the exceptional ability route, there is more discretion for them to exercise, because unlike the advanced degree route, that is either, you have a bachelor's plus 5 years, or you have a master's, or you have a PhD. With exceptional ability, you have to show you have exceptional ability, all those, requirements before they now even start looking at your 3 prongs. So you get, if you were using an advanced degree, then once you have the master's or the PhD, that takes care of it. That takes care of the same thing that the exceptional ability route would have done. And then they start analyzing your 3 prongs. But with the exceptional ability, there's just much more latitude. And, if you go with exceptional ability, but it's also like, if your profile is not that strong, if it's not strong enough, then you're risking your filing money. I mean, at the end of the day, what you're pretty much risking is your filing money. So it's also looking at it that, do you want to just put in that money and just, take the risk? However it goes, you're fine. And then another thing too is that if you have a bachelor's and 5 years post-bachelor's, you can actually still do the advanced degree route instead of going for exceptional ability while you are with your PhD results degree.
Okay. Did we answer your question? Okay. Oh, I read it from the chat box, so maybe it's not here. All right. Lillian, please go ahead. I think she muted herself. Lillian?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity. I'm so grateful. And it felt very good when I heard that you studied mass communication, because I'm currently studying journalism and strategic media. I have a master's degree in personality and social psychology, but I'm very interested in the area of media psychology, which is a very, very new field in psychology. As a matter of fact, I'm preparing to start my thesis, which has something to do with the use of social media and cognitive bias in psychology and personality traits, and how it predicts violent behavior among young African American adults. I gave that to my department. They were happy about it. And I actually applied for scholarship at the department. I did a very rough job of it. I had to write the proposal in less than a week, and it didn't come out good. I skipped some of the most important parts, and I didn't get the scholarship. I intend to reapply this year. So what I wanted to ask is, with my psychology master's, is it okay to apply now? even though I am very interested in journalism. I've worked in the journalism industry back in Nigeria for 12 years. So I have all the experiences. My department actually recommended me for a job with an internship with the Institute of Public Reporting here in Tennessee. And I hope to, join them by the end of this year. But a friend of mine said it's fine if I want to apply with my master's. And I just wanted to know if it's okay, if he can fly. If not, I'm really not that in a hurry to apply. But if it's okay, if it will fly, I would like to know if that will work. If not, I can just chill until the end of this year to get the master's degree in journalism before I file. So I don't know if you have any advice, any recommendation, because you studied mass communication, and I know we have these things would byline by byline would do a lot in this. So I just need you to give me your expert advice. And if you have anything to, tell me, just push me somewhere. I'll be happy if you can do that for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, and most importantly, I am not a professional on this.
It's
I'm
fine.
just like you. I just got to maybe know a lot about it because we went through the thing. Okay. Now, I also do media psychology, health communication. I work on social media also. So technically, I understand what you're saying. I would say much more that you have had experience in Nigeria in media. I don't know what exact industry you work in, whether it's print or advertisement, or the likes. However, I feel more that what you are doing with media psychology is something that might actually, I do not know what your proposed endeavor might be if you want to go via what you have done for the last 12 years. But I would assume that what you want to do with media psychology would be of much more relevance in today's current world with Web 3.0 and what we are seeing online and the effects of it all around. So I would assume that what you want to propose to do with the media psychology, it might take you a little time to fine-tune it and write it better. Maybe write a review paper on it or an article and submit to TNF online, our NCA journal, and start kind of like putting materials together for it. But I would say that I think at the end of this meeting, this is where I would end the meeting, is that though we might not be ready to submit now, we might just have the ideas ruminating in our mind and kind of like starting to theorize about it. But if we don't start, we will not finish. Waking up one day and just assuming that we're going to submit this thing, I don't think is the best route to take. But just like you are here today now, you are preparing towards it. You are working towards it. I think that your media psychology pathway might be a good path, might be a better option than especially if you did journalism, just call newspaper reportage and the likes in Nigeria. This new pathway might be that wonderful, that Zen thing you bring to the table here. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but I think you have more potential with the media psychology.
Yeah, I wanted to also add to what you said, so what I would say, yes, I know you have the pathway that you're interested in, but I think something that we should also bear in mind, and that this is also for the benefit of everyone, is what area is the sellable one that can give you the green card. At the end of the day, what you want is the green card. What you want is the approval. Right? Yeah. You can even say, once you get the approval on the most sellable area, do it for a bit, then go to what you really want to do. You can change your pathway and you won't have any issue, right? But you want the approval, because at the end of the day, if you have something that you want to do and it's not sellable, you're just going to be running around in circles, right? And you won't get the approval. So I think we should always bear that end goal in mind. That's what I'll add.
Oh, by the way, let me also thank you so much for mentioning this. Let me state that the goal is the green card, and when you get this thing, you should continue in the path where you propose to work in, but it's not a It's not set in stone. So technically, life change, you might start working. Some of us, like you do, or many of us do research here, you might start working on something and perhaps along the way you figure out, oh, maybe that's not what you want to do. And then you dive into something else. So this is insider information, but technically you can switch career, you can switch roles when you eventually get the thing. So
sorry, if I might come in to add
yes,
some.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, in support of what Tori saying and everyone has been saying, I would advise, because you are not even in a STEM field, which means that probably if you wait for your new proposed endeavor or the new path you want to take, which is going to be towards December of this year, this new year. If you think of it like, then what happens after you do 1 year OPT? And then you are back to, what am I going to go back to school or something? And sincerely, your previous field really matters a lot in the US. Like the US, because there's a lot of propaganda around media and information sharing and the psychology behind it. So I strongly agree with both of them that if you can and you think you have time, you could do it based on your previous field and not what you really think you want to go to. Like they said earlier, the goal is the green card. And that's just it. Thank you so much.
Sorry, can I chip in a little idea?
Yeah.
So what I would like to tell everyone who is looking forward to filing, you may not be in the STEM field, but what I'm going to tell you is to make sure you do enough research. I've seen people with different kind of fields get this, like communication, journalism, different kind of demographics. They get this. All you got to do is make sure that you check what the US is looking for. Make sure you do in-depth research. It may not be something current, like something that was posted last year or 2 years ago. It may be something that was posted 5 years ago, that the US needs to achieve this. The US needs to achieve something in communication. The exhibits are very important. If you can find a good evidence that, this thing that I'm doing, the US need it, then you can go forward. It does not matter if it is STEM or another field. So people need to understand that they need to align their proposed endeavor to what the US really need. That is what matters. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hello, can I chip in something?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. My name is Hakim. I'm speaking from Nigeria. Yeah, I've been in US several times. Yeah, my own idea based on some finding is that US is not specific completely about STEM, just like my brother just said. It depends on what you think can be relevant to them and what you can bring on table that is beneficial to the United States. Now, let me give you an example of a case which I read, which has been approved.
Huh? Go ahead.
Well, okay. This guy is a lawyer, right? So, and he filed for NIW and he got approved. But his argument? His argument is that it was a self-petition. So his argument is that he is coming to US. He wasn't arguing that I will go to court, I will be practicing law. No. He was arguing that I am an immigration expert, that I'm coming to the United States to bring in people who are professionals, who will be beneficial to the United States. And based on that argument, I think they see, okay, fine. You are not coming here to be defending people, but you are coming here to bring resources to the United States. So why I'm bringing this argument is that what she's talking about psychology, media psychology. I also read Masco. What the media psychology she's talking about is a very vital and very relevant field, which I support that she should apply. She should use to argue her matter now. And if you look at the controversies in the media world, all the issues around the media, or these are psychological because they are questions around why do people behave, why even the media is going this way, why is this, why is that. So those are very germane area, and psychology too is a science, however we look at it. So I think it's she has a very, very good case. And also the other person who talked about time bridging, if she waits till December, she has burned a year. So why not start the process, and go ahead with it? Whatever program you are bringing, the way I understand it what matters is the way you argue your relevance or what you have to bring. Someone who studied Yoruba, I'm just giving an example, jokingly. Don't be surprised that someone with Yoruba can argue his way and still get approved faster than someone who thought he did science. So it depends on how.
I need to clarify here right now that someone who studied Yoruba stands shoulder to shoulder with someone who did science. There is there is really, the USIS does not say, oh, because it's Yoruba, you maybe are like second tier. No, you are everyone is top tier.
Yes, you know why I'm using that example is that she's trying to prioritize the one she's studying probably ahead of what she has in the past. Probably that's why she says she wants to wait till December. And this process has to do a lot with experience and what you have been doing before, or what you have some number, some percentage of experience. And she has experience of about 12 years in this area. I think to me, she has a very strong, case to go ahead. I just chip in that. Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Please, whatever the case may be, put your best foot forward is what matters.
So I wanted to also just add that, another thing with immigration that we should all bear in mind, things change pretty fast.
Yes.
You want to get in as much as possible. I mean, 1 year is really a long time. Things change pretty fast. And, just to even add to, what the last speaker said, I know someone that got approved on Yoruba on NIW. So really.
Yeah. I think the usual hype has been about people that are into sciences and research and the likes. No, I know a lawyer once spoke about someone who did music, and the person was playing for the church or so, and the person got approved, just playing violin or so. I was violin. So it depends on how you present your case. Please, let's go on to another person. We have so many people's hands raised up. Hopefully we can get through a lot today. While we wait for this person to speak, so on this team, we have the WhatsApp groups. I'll put the link to the current WhatsApp group here. If you're interested, you can join us. This is also live on YouTube. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, because there, I think this year we'll post more information so that people can easily identify and, like YouTube shorts, so that we can answer direct questions faster, and we don't have to post so much on the groups. Now we have lawyers, consultants here. There is Barrister Fola Odion here. She's available to help you if you want to file your case and you need that help. If we have so many consultants here, there's Olamide Dollar. If you want to do EB1A, there is Olu here, who is also into EB1A, EB2. Olamide does EB2 too. Like, I will list everyone at the end, but I guess the summary of it all is help is available if you need it, if you can afford it. And also, I have also designed a self-help Google Drive where technically everything you need for this thing is there. What I think what is more important in all of this is that if you do not take time to understand this thing, you cannot, there's no shortcut to this. It's like taking an immigration class. You have to commit time to learn and understand it. If you think, oh, you're just gonna maybe pay a lawyer and then or pay a consultant and then that's it. No, it doesn't work that way, because even when you get someone to help you write it, you still have to tell the person what it is that you want to do or what it is that you bring to the table. So everyone has to, you still have to contribute one way or another. But at the end of the day, I think it is worth it to 100%. Okay, shall we have the next person? I'm sorry I talk too much. Maybe that's why I do communications. I don't think she's here now. Tolu? Okay, not here. Okay, I have a question from the chat for the lawyers and consultants from the group. So the question is that my family is back in Nigeria. I am here on F1 visa. Can I apply now? Or do I wait until, I think does he wait for his family to come over, or can he apply now? That's the question.
So you can actually apply now. In the same petition, they will ask you that, they'll ask for the name of your spouse, their details, and your children, and they will ask you whether they're applying within the US or they're applying from outside the US. So at the same time as you're processing your own in the US, your green card, they can be doing their own through consular processing. I guess, the thing to then bear in mind, though, is that by the time you start processing the green card, if you're really planning that, or maybe they get a non-immigrant visa and they're able to come in, it's going to be most likely more difficult for them to get that non-immigrant visa approved. But they can get the green card direct straight from Nigeria as you get yours from US. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Do we have Moshood ready to speak? And thank you so much for everyone answering the questions on the chat. Thank you so much. Olayemi Afiz.
Yes, I'm here.
All right.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. First, I want to say that I have a master's in public administration before, and I'm outside the US. And currently, I'm doing another master's in applied economics, so which is a STEM program. But my visa I will be graduating this year May, and my visa will also be expiring this year May. My F1 visa. So even though I'll be going for OPT, but I've already put in for the I-140, which is about almost 105 days now. So my question is, I don't know when it will be approved. When the visa expired around May, what should I do? I'm kind of confused about this. Do I have to go outside? I don't know what to do regarding this.
So you're good even if the visa expires, because I heard you say, you're going to be on OPT, right? Your OPT is what gives you the status in US. So even if your I-140 stays till May before it's approved, it's supposed to be approved anytime from this month, February on average, though, if there are no, additional circumstances. But, so long you're on a valid status and OPT is a valid status, you're good. What, you should bear in mind is that if your I-140 is approved, and you don't have any independent non-immigrant status that you're on, that is the only time that the person will either have to maybe find something to do, maybe go to another school, go for another course, or in the worst case, if they don't want to do any of that, then they have to go out, because your I-140 does not give you a valid stay in the US. It is the I-485. So now, someone that has their I-485 in, that's the green card application, it gives the person a sort of like temporary stay, So even if the person's F1 status expired, then they are still covered until they get a decision on the I-485. But the issue with that, and why it's always recommended to have an independent non-immigrant status, is that if someone I-485 gets denied, then they immediately go out of status if they did not have an independent non-immigrant status. So you're good. The summary of it is that you're good with your OPT. You don't need to go outside the US.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, I want to chip in something. The barrister is very correct. However, most people don't know about the 90-day OPT rule. Like, make sure you ensuring that you get a job, so that you will keep in status. And then also, if you would like to go out at any point in time, it is better, because during my own time, I didn't go out to renew my visa before it expired. My visa also expired that time in May. So I could not go out because I know I could go out to do the renewal, but I could not go out because I was scared. So if you know you would need to go out at any point in time, this is the time you can try to go out and renew your visa. But like she said, you're very good. But just make sure that you have a job within 90 days on the OPT so that you won't be out of status. It is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry, I wanted to also add on that OPT. Thanks for bringing that angle. I mean, I didn't want to go too deep so that I don't lose you totally. But on the OPT for the first year, right, even if you do not get a job, like, a job that will pay you, you can actually do like a self-employment, like just to put it in your system so that your 90 days is not counting. So you can just put something in your field, that you're a freelancer and all that. And that is allowed, just so that for your first year, you're not accruing that 90 days unauthorized presence. So that's something to bear in mind. So you don't think that, if you don't get a job within 90 days, then you start panicking and all that. The only thing is that you will not, obviously get paid if you don't get a job, a paying job, but you don't have to run out of status in your first year. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Does any other person want to ship anything into that question? No. Okay. Ṣẹ́gun Ọlọ́pàdé, I don't think he's here. People will raise and they're not a talk. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, thanks for organizing this. I think my question is related to the question the other guy had asked, but in my situation, my OPT is going to be expiring midway through the year, and I would like to keep on working. I already have my application for the I-140 put in premium processing, and I'll be expecting a response hopefully before the end of the month, a positive response. And so looking at the current backlog in the bulletin for I-485 change of status, is there a way for me to keep on working while still waiting and being legal in the country? Some people had made recommendations regarding they want CPT, but I don't know if that would have a negative impact. Should I go for my visa interview subsequently?
So for that, they want OPT, CPT, visa interview. For the one CPT, you're good, really. If you get a school, that offers the one CPT, that's one option that you can use to work. Another option, depending on how strong your profile is, or more like how well you can articulate your profile, is to consider doing an EB1, right? Because with an EB1, there's no backlog. And that means that at the same time that you're putting in an I-140 for your EB1, you can put in the I-485, right? And because you can put in the I-485 for EB1, then you can put in the work permit request, which is really what you want. So in terms of strategy, what you want is, okay, let me just buy time. Even if I feel like, okay, my profile is not there yet for EB1, but I don't want to spend all that money going to school because with CPT, you're still going to have to pay school fees. You can then decide that, okay, I filed an EB2 NIW already. Let me see how I can revamp that my EB2 profile to an EB1. And on the basis of that, put in my I-485. And because I have my I-485 in, I put in my I-765. Because when you then wait, you're like, okay, you're probably risking, in quotes, say 700 and, the 1225, for that. But that's still way less than having to pay school fees, afresh. So that's something, you might want to consider. But ultimately, I will say that you probably maybe want to schedule like a consultation, really, and then to find more specifics to your case. Because like I did say, when you put in your I-485 for EB1, for instance, even when your OPT expires, you have that status based on your I-485, or more like it's not like a status, but your status is locked in, But the negative part with that, or the risk with that, is that if your I-485 is not approved, and then you did not get an independent on immigrant status, maybe an H1B, or do the CPT or go to another school, then you immediately go out of status if an I-485 denial comes in. So I don't know if that gives you a bit of direction or answer to your question. So you can use the 1CPT. You can also upgrade your EB2 NIW2 and EB1A, and on the basis of that, file the I-485 that has no queue, and also put in your work permit. And typically, your work permit will probably come out maybe it can come out in 2 to 3 months after you have put in your I-485 application, really. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We have so many questions. If I asked, I don't know whether they are not here, but
Hello.
okay.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for this meeting. My name is Rabi. I have a bachelor's in industrial design, and I have, though my major my concentration was on ceramics, so I did a lot on. I collaborated with researchers on publication for nanoparticles and how it impacts the environment. So, and also in my undergraduate, I won a couple of awards in the United States, as well as grants and and fellowship. So I'm currently doing my PhD in environmental science, but my research focus is on the application of AI and GIS on aquaculture, which is kind of different from what I did in my bachelor's. And I want to file using the exceptional ability. But it just kind of feels like it's industrial design, and I'm doing environmental science. So I don't know, since I'm doing my current project, though I've not really done much because I'm in my second year for my PhD. I've not really done much. I don't have any publication on application of AI on aquaculture, but I have publications on nanoparticles. I have close to 6 to 7. So I don't know which of the case should I pursue, because I would get a lot of recommenders from my aquaculture, but I don't have a lot of evidence on that, materials on that. So I'm kind of I don't know.
Sorry,
Yeah,
did
go
you
ahead.
say that? Did you say that your research in nanoparticle is your bachelor's?
Yeah. Okay, I have publications on that. I have collaboration where I have publication on nanoparticles.
I mean,
But
when
that
did
kind
you?
of align with my bachelor's, because my bachelor's is on industrial design, and ceramics is where you use a lot of materials. Ceramics is more is part of material science too.
Yeah, I'm asking because I have background in material science and nanotechnology. Actually, a master's degree in nanotechnology. So I wanted to know when you published your nanoparticles. Was it during your undergraduate or during your PhD?
During my PhD.
During your PhD. Then if you did anything nanoparticles during your PhD, I don't think you have a problem. All you have to do is to prove because nano is very, very essential. Everybody that I know who studied nano have gotten approved. None of my guys, nobody that I know that did nano has got issues. So if you did anything on nanoparticles, because nano is cutting edge, all you need to do is just state what you are doing and how it affects the US, like I said earlier. However, I would because there are 9 prongs or 10 points for the EB1A. If you know you can speak to a consultant to get your case started. But I normally advise people to try EB2A first. then try your leg in the waters for EB1A, because EB1 is current. But most of the
Current,
time, it's better to try with EB2, because like you said, what you're doing currently, I don't think it really aligns to the other one. So it's better to
yes.
you don't want your proposed endeavor to be all over the place. So with most people that do their that does their EB1A, they know for sure that okay, they have everything that needs to be in place. So it's better to try with EB2. Once you get that, you can try your leg in the waters with EB1A.
Okay,
Okay.
Olamide Drodola, can you please speak on this?
Yeah, and please, I've been responding to the chat. Can you recap the question?
Okay. I have a BSc, and after I have the BSc in industrial design, but my concentration was on ceramics. So,
Okay.
and in that, I've been able to collaborate with other researchers on nanoparticles, because ceramics is also a material. It's under like
Okay.
material science. So I have a couple of research articles published on that area.
On nano degree.
Yes, on nanoparticles.
So,
But
okay,
continue.
continue.
I don't have 5 years experience, so I'm looking at using exceptional ability. But I have a couple of awards I have a national award. I have in design, I have over 3 state awards. I think I have a total of over 20 to 30 something awards from the United States, and I have grants and fellowship awards. I won during my undergraduate and also in my PhD. But in my PhD currently, I'm doing environmental sciences. But my research focus is on the application of AI and GIS on sustainable aquaculture.
So, you move from ceramic to nano degree, then now to aquaponics.
Yeah, aquaculture. Yes, but I didn't really move from ceramics to nano. It was like I collaborated. I didn't do a master's, so I did ceramics. So I collaborated with researchers on nano particles. Like when they're working on research on nanoparticles, I get involved and all of that. So I have publications on
I'll probably say
nanoparticles.
all the publications you have is in nano degree, right? So in nano.
Yes, it's mostly on nano. Yes.
Oh, it's mostly on nano. So now, if you are going to present your proposed endeavor, what will it be?
Okay, so because I'm trying to do for exceptional ability, so I was using all of my awards and everything to actually tell them I did industrial design and I'm exceptional. I won this award. I have this. I'm a first class in this. I'm a first class in that. So that's what I'm trying to prove for my exceptional ability. But when it comes to my proposed endeavor, I was thinking of saying, let me use the aquaculture, but I haven't done really anything there because I'm just starting. This is just my second year. But that's what I'm doing for my PhD. So I don't know.
Okay. Something I understand about this thing, looking at several RFEs I've seen so far, what they always look at your progression, like, because if you've stated that you've done this, you've done that, though it's not a bad idea. Now let me paint this one. For instance, during my own time, I presented AI, environment, and agriculture, which is the food, and I was able to link everything together. I was able to tell them that okay, I use AI. AI is needed for food and is also needed for the environment because data you get and stuff like that. So now, in your own case, if you are able to merge the three together as well, I believe that is going to be, because if you are telling them that okay, you have an award, you have a publications, and when you are talking of exceptional ability, you just need to meet 3 of the 6 prongs, right?
Yes.
Now, when you are presenting your case, what they want to see is that what is your progression? You presented, okay, you have these papers, you have this award. Is it still in what you are doing at the moment, right? So what I would just advise, in order not to waste time, we can probably meet after the whole session. Like,
Okay.
yeah, but that's what I actually understand about it. It has to be in kind of a progression, this thing like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's
Thank
take other
you.
question. We can chat after that time. After this.
Yeah.
Okay. Please, who am I speaking with? Who just spoke so that I can chat you up?
This Olamide.
Okay, Olamide.
Olamide
Fine.
Duodola,
Thank
yes.
you, sir.
Okay, so Ahmed, Victor, and Olamide, thank you for shipping in on this because I wanted us to have. I know there are so many people that might be in this fold here, so we have 2 people that have spoken extensively on this now, and I think maybe it answers other people's question. Olamide and Ahmed are consultants. They have a business outfit where they help people to write EB2 NIW. You can contact them and they can help you write a petition for a fee. After all, nothing is free in Freetown. But, oh yes, so let me talk about the fee again. Welcome everybody for those that have just joined us. This is an EB2 NIW New Year chit chat for us to understand what EB2 NIW is. EB2 NIW means Employment-Based Visa National Interest Waiver. It's a pathway for you to get your green card in the United States of America, and it's typically based off of your achievements, your educational qualification, and what you have achieved in the past. If you have won awards, if you have done research, and all of that. And then you don't necessarily the myth around this before now used to be that, oh, you have to have PhD, or you have to have a master's degree, or you have to have 100 publication, or have 1,000 citations, or you have to be doing a huge research that maybe you are finding a cure for cancer before you can get this thing. But that's actually not what it is. The United States of America on their website have explained clearly in simple terms what they need from everyone to apply. So it does not matter your field. If you are in the sciences, you are in the arts, could be any kinds of arts, music, performing arts, and the likes. If you are in business, if you are in finance, if you are in psychology, if you are in the life sciences, whatever the field, you can, if you have value that you can actually bring to this country, you can do this pathway. Secondly, you do not have to be inside the United States to apply for this. You can apply for this from any country in the world. The cost for filing for this thing is $700 in dollars, US dollars. You only pay in US dollars. So for those who are not in America, you can apply from outside America. You can, if you have a family friend here who can be maybe your second address, you can send your petition through them, or you can use a consultant, or you can use a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, to help file your petition. Now, this petition is a very tedious process. United States does not give the green card free. They're not dashing it out. However, if you can do the work, you get the reward. It's a process where you write a petition, more like a letter, stating, hey, my name is so and so. I'm a exceptional person. I'm doing so and so. I can bring value to your country. If you need this value that I bring to your country, you can give me your green card. I can come in and I can, make America great, like America should be great. So they consider your case. You have to add your evidences. That's your academic transcript. This also includes you adding your awards. If you've won awards, maybe you are a member of top organizations, if you are a fellow in certain organizations, if you have working experience, if you have commanded high salary, in your field. For instance, let me say for instance now, so in Nigeria, I know Nigeria because I'm Nigerian. So in America, if you are making, say, let's say $1,500, $2,000 a month, you are not really maybe in the high percentile. But in Nigeria, if you are making 1 million naira a month, you are in that top place. And when you convert $1,000 to naira, it's we know what the rate is right now. So there are so many things involved in this. The key point in this petition is you have to market yourself as you have to sell yourself well. Like, do not downplay your achievements. You have done something, write it well, word it well. You can use AI to write it, but of course, not just the lazy AIs and like with the bullet points. No, like you can, if you give AI the right prompts, it can help you word the petition, craft it very well and all that. And then you submit this petition with all your documents, your publications. If some people you don't have to necessarily have publications. There are people that have gotten this thing without no publications, without no citation, and if they meet the requirements, they get this. So you submit this thing with the forms. The forms are majorly three. The first one is the I-140 form. That's the NIW, the EB2 form itself, the NIW form itself. You fill that form on the Google Drive that is on our EB2 NIW WhatsApp groups. You can find all these forms there, and you can just Google it. Just check it on Google, USCIS.gov, and search for this document on Google. The second form is a form 9089. That's the well, like I said, you have to learn about this thing. There's so many things to say, and I don't want to talk too much on this. The 9089 form, the form G1145, the form G1450. Either of these forms, one is for notification, so that they can send you the notification immediately they get your petition. And the second one is if you want to use credit card to make the payment. Personally, I don't advise you to use the card to pay because there are some credit card companies that might flag the payment and then they have to send it back to you and then you have to pay. But please, if you do not have the cash and you do not mind using your credit card to pay, please go ahead and use your credit card to pay. It is worth every cent you spend on it. I assure you. Yes, we pay bills every month. You pay for house rent, you pay for your car bills, you pay for all of this. I will tell you this much. When you graduate from school here, for those who are on F1 visa, and you start applying for jobs, or maybe you're on OPT and you start applying for jobs, and you see that company, you've done the first stage of interview, the second stage of interview, and then they tell you that, oh, we are sorry, we cannot continue with you because we do not sponsor visa, and you tell them, oh, I have OPT. Oh, I am on STEM. I get 3 years. They'll be like, no, we don't want to really waste our energy working with you for 2 years. And after 2 years, you go, then we have to go and look for somebody else to take over. And then you have to start retraining the person. Then you will understand why you need to actually do this and get your green card sorted once and for all. So if you need to spend the money, don't think about the fact that, oh, it's expensive. Where do I get $700? And for those that want to use a lawyer or consultant, oh, how can I afford it? I cannot pay a lawyer $5,000. $5,000 is too much. Well, if I will be honest with you, sometimes we actually spend $5,000 on things that are maybe not necessary. And sometimes you spend it on things that are necessary, solving family problems in Nigeria, but you are not solving your own problem. If you are in a better position, if you get your green card and you are in a better position to find a good job, you will better help your people than, I know I'm talking too much, but I'm just being honest. I'm trying to let you know that no matter what excuses you give, you can maybe leave some things for this year, focus on you. Let 2024 be your year of you. Focus on you. Problem no, they finish really. And black tax does not ever end. So focus on you and do this thing. And I pray that it works out for you. So you put this petition together with your I-140, with the 9089 form, the G115 form, and you go to a post office and you send it. If you are outside America, maybe you are in Nigeria, you are in the UK, you are in Australia, you are in Germany, you are in China, you can also send it from there, like it's from all over the world, and you submit it with a little bit of, good luck and the good thing that you have submitted, you get approved, and then you move to the second stage. Let me repeat, the I-140 is not what gets you the green card. It is just one out of the two steps. The second step is the main thing. But without the I-140 approval, you cannot get to the second step. The second step is where you apply for the green card. If you are already in America, the form I-1, you have to fill the form I-485. And you have to also, if you want, you should submit also the I-765, that is the employment authorization, and the form I-130, that is the advanced parole. All right, so at this point, let me cut it because I'm talking too much. So that's all that you need. We have some consultants and lawyers here. I'm taking the time to put their names together so that I can put it on the group. They charge between 2,500 to 5,000. Some, if your case is critical, like, some people don't even know what they are doing. Maybe you want them to help you find a proposed endeavor and stuff. The services are available. Now, if you want to self-petition, that is, you want to do it all by yourself, there is also resources available for you. Whichever way, please do this thing. Thank you. All right, let's go to the next question. We take Taiwo Agbaje if he's available.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my question goes as I have a bachelor in Nigeria in urban planning, and I'm currently on my master's second year in GIS. So I wanted to ask that, can I have two proposed endeavor, or because I have a certification in Nigeria as a top rec, and I have two internship here in the US, and I also have one or two publications. So I wanted to ask that, is it better that I should claim as a GIS specialist when I've done several work internship here, or I should just claim an urban planner that will use GIS technology in shaping America or something?
Do we have any consultants that want to answer the question?
Sorry, can we hear the question again? Wasn't okay.
Can you repeat the question? I think he already left. Yeah. I think he left, unfortunately. Okay. Since he left now, I know his question was about, can he submit to proposed endeavor?
Yeah.
So
okay. I mean, what I tell people is to align their proposed endeavor to just one. But if you believe that what you're doing currently, what your current stance currently is, you can prove to endeavor. It's possible. People have done it. Like, for instance, somebody in the field of nanotechnology, let me just use that as an example. You may want to prove that you are into semiconductor and you're also into zero emission. It is very possible. Those are two different proposed endeavor. And in as much as you are in that industry or you're doing a course of study that is in that direction, just like Olamide said earlier, progression matters. So if you're in that same field, it is possible for you to prove to. But if you think you're going to be all over the place, you're going to be moving from one end to another, it is better to just stick to one. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Somebody wanted to speak.
Oh yeah, I was saying that I thought what I heard him also say was more of like he's trying to see which one of those two to use, actually, not combine. And I was, I don't know if you're still on the call. What I was gonna say is that you actually have to do the research, because we can only give you general answers here. If you want to get specific, you need to book a consultation, because for you to know the one that you need to use, you have to do the research and find out which one is more sellable to US one. And aside from that, now looking at which one of them do you have skills in? more skills in. If you have skills in both, I mean, just look for which one is more sellable to US and use it. Just like, you know, we had said earlier on the call, what you want is the green card. Whatever route legally takes you to that green card is what you should pursue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, and thank you so much for those answering the questions in the chat. We are also live on YouTube. The YouTube link is on the chat also. Please join our YouTube channel and please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more information, because this year we'll be posting more direct questions so that more people can know about this. Also, this we have WhatsApp groups that serves to provide this information also. If you want to join the WhatsApp group, I would put the information in the chat box also, so you can join the WhatsApp group. Whether you're on YouTube or you're from here, you can always join the WhatsApp group. Thank you. Okay. Akoni Samson, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you.
I am applying for the EB1A category, and I believe that I meet 4 of the criteria. But basically, I've seen YouTube videos, I've seen some things, but I would really be interested, or I would really be happy if I can get like samples of the petition or recommendation letters. I have seen those for EB2 category, but I haven't really seen for EB1A. So I just wanted to ask if there is a platform that
Yes,
is channeled towards EB1A.
we do have EB1 groups also, but actually they are on request, because we know a lot of people might not really qualify for the EB1A, and we wanted to keep the conversations, you know, on EB1A only. But this year we'll spread it out the more. For the EB1A, if you don't mind, I want maybe one of the consultants talk extensively on EB1A, maybe for like 10 minutes, because it's important that we understand what that pathway talks about. Now, are you on our WhatsApp group, Akoni Samson?
The EB2, yes, I am on the WhatsApp group.
Good. Now, on that EB2 group, there is you know the document that I share on the group?
Yes.
On the Google Drive, there is a file folder that is exclusively for EB1A. It's exactly like the EB2 one, but it's specifically for EB1A. We have sample petitions, we have RFEs from people, we have the people statements that especially explains what kind of publications you should do, what kind of award counts, what kind of membership counts. So you can get that information there. This is not about you, Samson, but to so many of us on the groups. I would encourage you, even if it's just 10 minutes, please read that Google document. All the information you need, they're actually there. But majority of us don't read the Google document, and yeah. So
Thank you very
yes,
much.
please DM me after now. Yeah.
Okay.
So can I say that at this point I want somebody to talk on EB1A? Or do I do it?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk for a while on EB1A.
Okay.
Or Olamide might be able to help further since he's a beneficiary.
Yeah,
So
if you don't mind, maybe you should go on it. So I want us to end this meeting like by 1:30, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I think who was the last person?
We
Is that
just want
Jubril?
you to talk on EB1A.
Is that Jubril or Ahmed?
Oh, that's Ahmed, Victor.
Yeah, that's
Ahmed. Sorry for taking your place.
No problem. It's fine.
Although he understands.
We do the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. So for EB1, basically it's easy, tricky, but you don't want to waste your money. Actually, and also it's worth trying if you think you meet up. I know that some of us might have checked the list of it, like the 10 evidence that was listed on that is listed on USCIS website. So for all those 10 criteria, let me quickly run through them and explain the evidences that qualify for each of it, so that all of us, for people that are looking forward to applying to that, they will know what is expected of them to have. It shouldn't just be like you're just applying, just putting your petitions together. And someone actually asked for the format. The truth of the matter is that for that EB1, people don't really share the formats because the beneficiary are always kind of small. So even though when I did mine as well, I didn't see any formats, to be honest with you. Well, what I just did was just to go to the website and copy the ones that I made, and I have to put my write-up. So the first one is the receipt of lesser nationally or internationally recognized. Even though this is not the first one. For you to meet up with EB1, for EB2, it has advanced degree, then NIW, which you have to prove the 3 prongs. Also for EB1, it has its own prong. The first one is that you have an acclaim internationally award, one-time award. Look that word, internationally. And when you talk of international, that's when you talk of Oscar, Nobel Prize, and stuff like that. But if you don't have that, then they now give you other options, which is where you have to prove 3 prongs, 3 criteria out of the 10. The second one is that you will continue in your field of proposed endeavor, that you are coming to the United States and you keep on working in that field, which is like your proposed endeavor. The third one is that you have risen to the top of your field. This is actually tricky. You and your friend might be in mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, and you might be in, let's say, there are some courses that are not really out there like that. People don't really even go to them. They understand. Let's say, for instance, maybe someone that study Yoruba. People that are doing international study like that, they are very, very minute. They are very, very they are not much in that field. So you can't compare yourself, mechanical engineering guys, that even when you put up the job on LinkedIn, it will bring you like millions of jobs. The field is oversaturated compared to the person that is in Yoruba. When you put up the job search on LinkedIn, and it only brings 1 or 2. So you have to also understand that aspect. So now let's move back to the first one, which is if you don't have international award, then you have to meet 3 of the 10 criteria. The first one is lesser nationally or internationally award. The USIS stated that academic award is not recognized. But if you feel like this award is actually a great award and it's worth it, then you have to prove that it's not for students alone, it's not for early career, and it has to be for people like for professional levels. Then you can prove that. The award it can't be local award, it can't be regional. Assuming now, if you get a state award, that one too is not regarded. However, when you now talk of national, then if you are talking of the whole of US, they try to pick people, maybe 1 or 3 persons like that, and you're awarded, then you are good to go. That's the first one. I won't be able to really talk much on that. The second one is membership in association, which in the field which demand outstanding achievements. Don't just say, I'm a member of this, I'm a member of that. That membership, if you are not invited, and the people that review your document, your membership, they are experts in your field. Like they too, they've risen to some certain level, not just like anyone review your document. And for you to show that, you have to show the bylaw of the organization where it states that, okay, for members, so it can only by invitation or by what you have done. And those that review your document, you also have to show how they pick those guys as well. That's for that. The next one is publish material about you in professional or major trade publications. So for this one, what they said that you need to prove for this one is that what they publish about you is about you, right? Is in the publication, like the media, It's not like assuming you are in mechanical engineering and you just go ahead and publish in maybe, let's say, Nigeria Tribune or one just newspaper like that. It has to be like in your, it must be like in your domain, kind of. And who are the audience that you are communicating to? It has to also be your audience, right? The next one, which is the fourth, is evidence that you have been hacked to judge the work of others. See, do you know this one? This one is like the easiest. I've seen several RFEs, and the RFEs, they always give people two, at least two. The first one is evidence of judge. The second one, published article. So if you are thinking of applying, those two are your first best shots of others. You can review for several articles. You need experts. Most of those journals need experts. Also, if you are still a student and maybe your school, they always have like a symposium, like a conference, you can also volunteer, to also review. That one too is going to work. Evidence of your original scientific, scholarly, artistic work. For this one, if you are doing research, if you are doing research and you've published your paper, you've presented, this one might be easy for you to prove. And you also need, I would advise you to get recommendation letter from those that have cited your work. Like now, when I did someone cited my work, I think from Greece. The man is a director. He was able to give me a letter. You should just shoot them the message. You can use ResearchGate. Some of them will respond. They will give you the letter. So you need that letter. Your citations is going to speak volume of you. But for this part, they actually need to see that this is your original work. And something I shouldn't forget this: when you are proving all these points, all of these criteria are standalone. The fact that you have listed your published material under published article doesn't mean that you won't discuss it under original work. So you have to discuss what your work is all about. It has to be your own work. If you have patents, then it's good for you to also put it there. And you can't just say that this work, we do it in a team, and maybe it's in the name of my boss or it's in the name of my team. Your name has to be on it, then you are good to go. The next one is number 6, almost done. Sorry, guys. Evidence of your authorship of scholarly articles. This one is just like you've published journals in your field, your work. That's one I said that is very easy for you to meet, like very, very easy. The next one is evidence that your work has been displayed or artistic exhibition and showcases. I know most of the time people always try to use this one as maybe its conferences, like maybe research showcase. That one does not meet up. For this one, you have to show that, I think this one is for artists, people in the arts industry. You have to show the sales record, how many tickets is being sold, for that particular. And and you have to show the artwork that is being displayed as well. And you also have to also show that the avenue that is being displayed is a showcase, like is an exhibition. So it doesn't have to just be like, oh, you just put it in front of your house and you printed something. You want to see that as well. And also the number 8 is evidence of your performance of a leading critical role in a distinguished organization. So for this, number 1, you have to show that you've led. I know most people have led several organizations. However, leading is not enough. Second, the organization must be a distinguished one. They have like what's it called? Definition for that. They use Merriam-Webster to define that. So you have to check that up. The organization have to be distinct. It must be like organization that has received several awards, several accolades. So that one, you have to show, and you have to also show that what you have done, your participation in the organization, has actually contributed to the organization immensely. Like if you didn't do that, the organization might even break down and stuff like that. So you have guys like that, or you're probably like maybe a co-founder or something like that. But it has to be like a big one. It's not just like you just be a president of your organization or your student body and you feel like that one is going to work. I've seen guys that have submitted that they are even part of maybe deanship selection of their school, and they still deny that, they didn't accept that. So it has to be like you have to prove the distinguishedness. And also evidence that you have commanded high salary. This one is always easy. Submit your W2 if you have the W2 form, which is your tax return. You also have to compare it. Like you have to show how was the average salary in that field, what is your own range, where are you currently. You have to show all that for you to fly. And the last one is evidence of your commercial success in the performing arts. Almost the same thing as the exhibition and showcases as well. So I feel like that is what is needed for the EB1. So once you meet that one, but when you are putting your petitions together, in each of the prongs, you must always, it has to be in a plain language. You don't have to tell lie. If you don't meet it, you don't meet up. But if you meet it, if you meet the criteria, you have to always state in each of your criteria that okay, sorry about that. So in that, when you are proving each of the criteria, you just have to keep hammering on it that you are at the top of your field. Don't just wait till your last section, like, okay, I will go and put at my last section that I'm at the top of my field. When you prove evidence of award, prove that, okay, these are the numbers of guys that have received the award so far. This is me. I'm top of my field. So I qualify for EB1. To the next one, I've judged the work of others. It's because I'm at the top of my. You have to keep stating that at each of all your criteria. So I believe that is going to work out. And also, I know that there might be probably some questions and stuff like that, but I always try to tell people that I make like a very explanatory videos. They are 10. It will explain everything to you. Please, if you want to ask question regarding EB1, maybe you have some question, please, I will advise, I'm pleading, try to see the video first so that it will make my work easier, because I have a lot of requests on me. So please, I will first advise that. So I've sent that in the group chats. Thank you, Toyosi. I think I've seen more than 10 minutes.
Yes, yeah, I've spent more than 10 minutes, and now our meeting has elongated so far, but we still have so many hands up, so I guess we will still extend to 2 p.m. CST. So if that is all right, thank you for sharing. Olu, are you here? Olu? I don't think he's here. Ray is not here. Okay, Barrister Fola on EB1A, because I want us to round up on EB1A. Because that's I would like you to chip in on EB1A too.
Yeah, so I mean, for EB1A, I think, what, we should bear in mind is that the same way, before NIW became popular, it looked like, it's only people that have gotten to this particular state that can get it. No, the truth is that EB1A is actually easier than NIW if you have the profile, right? Because with EB1A, you don't have to be showing your work is of national merit and substantial importance. Of course, that's what it boils down to, the evidence that you're giving. But you don't have to spend so much, pages, proving it and all that. It's really, do you meet 3 of these 10 criteria? And yes, even though they put 3, of course, it's better to meet more than 3, because if you're meeting just 3, most likely, they would say that what the person is doing is not substantial enough, like it's a one-time thing. Because the first thing they do, they first look at it, you meet the minimum requirements. That's step 1. Just sort of like if you're looking at advanced degree for NIW, they look at it, you have a master's or PhD or bachelor's plus 5 years. That's the first step. Then the second step, they now weigh all those things that you have said, all the criteria that you have put out that you meet, and now see that, okay, in the scheme of things, is this something that we want to give? So if you look at EB1 as sort of like EB2 NIW without having to prove that your work is of substantial merit and national importance, you see, it's not that deep, really, because it's either you meet it or you don't meet it, And so the only thing I would say that with EB1A, there's less room for, the way we will say we are, what's that word that is say, we are packaging. There's less room for packaging if you don't have it. And then, just like had explained, if you have a publication and you have citation, that already gives you like 3 of the requirements. You can prove that, you have been published, you have original scholarly work and all that. So that already gives you 3. Imagine if you're now able to show that, you have a high salary, that gives you number 4. So it's really about, do you meet those criteria? So for EB1A, the people it benefits more, that they can easily show the requirements are people that all those your publications are citations. Because if you have good publications and citation, you can easily already meet 3, which is the minimum requirement. But then if, someone doesn't have publications and citation, then you have to start sort of like scrambling to meet the other 7, to see if you can meet, 3 out of the other 7 on the list. So that's what I would say. But it's not that esoteric as some people make it seem to be. It's either you meet it or you don't meet it. There's less room for rigmarole with it. But if you have the profile, it is easier to get. And the truth is that most of the things that they use for EB1 is similar to NIW. Because the things you used to show your 3 prongs in NIW are similar to what you use for, EB1A. It now has to do with, okay, like I said, they are scrutinized at the higher level. So maybe like for your NIW, if you were using things like, oh, you're a graduate assistant and all that as an award. For EB1A, that might not fly as an award. It has to be an award at the higher level, right? But imagine someone had those kind of, high level awards, even at NIW level. Then the person can easily move it to EB1A. And I mean, I gave an instance. I had someone that did an NIW as at was it April 2023, and then because of the queuing in the NIW rank and all that, what he then did is that he upgraded his NIW to EB1A. He restructured the argument and he got his EB1A approved. So that shows that the things that you use for NIW can go for EB1A depending. Yeah, so that's what I would say on that.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. I am an advocate of making simplifying systems. If something can be easier done, we should do it in an easier way rather than complicate things. Yeah. So yes, I totally agree with Olamide and Barrister Fola. Please, if you honestly, but that's my angle to it. EB1A, I think, is more straightforward than EB2. And besides, it's easier, faster to get the green card with EB1A than EB2. Yes, the criteria for EB1A is more tedious. It's like you are doing so much more. But I think everything that is worth doing well. So you might as well put the energy and the effort in doing EB1 than in EB2. Many people don't even know that they qualify for EB1. And then they spend all the time doing EB2. Meanwhile, they should have just gone for EB1A and they would have gotten their green card many years ago. So let's make things easier for ourselves. Okay, we'll take just 2 more questions today and then we'll round up this meeting. Maybe 1 more, maybe not 2. Sunday Ogunleye, I thought you had spoken already.
No, I've not spoken.
All right. Okay. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Yeah, actually, many of my questions have been addressed. So the only one that I would just like to ask is about the jobs, the role that the job offer, the role that it plays, and what kind of job does the job, my OPT job, can it actually count, and how can I use it? Maybe if I get a recommendation letter from employers, is it about my salary and all that? Yeah, actually, so that's actually my question. But my profile is actually been having a bachelor from Nigeria in accounting. So I'm actually in accounting. I'm also a chartered accountant in Nigeria. So, but when I came to the US for my master's degree, I'm studying. I first of all came for master's in financial planning. But after 2 semesters, I stopped. I moved to another school. I'm actually studying data analytics here at my current school, which is a STEM course. And I think one of the reasons I actually did that was because of the 3-year OPT, kind of to have enough time for all this. So personally, I don't even know which area, whether it's going to be on the data analytics or it's based on my accounting aspect. So I just thought maybe if I get a job, I'll just use the job to apply for the NIW category. So I'm actually kind of blank as to what approach to take. So that's why I feel like let me just ask the question about the job how does it plays out, and whether it has anything to do with the NIW approval. And also, you can also let me talk about my profile as well on how to go about it. Thank you. Hello,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. Who wants to help answer?
So, I mean, on the OPT, yes, you can put in your OPT work, also for the NIW. So it depends on how you tie it. The only thing is that, if for instance, say you're working for, a company, maybe not like a research or government and all that, you need to be able to put it that what you do in that company, it has national impact. It's not just that, oh, maybe you're an electrical engineer for what now, for like an LG, for instance, and you only do things that impact LG. You should be able to put it in a way that says that, yes, you're an electrical engineer in LG, but, everything that you've done, it helps to run, the electrical network of US, because, LG is, nationwide and all that. So it really depends on how you're able to frame it and show that national scope of what you do. Because a sort of issue that some people may face is that, depending on how they frame what they have done, what they are doing in the US, whether internship, even graduate assistantship, the USCIS might say that thing is local in scope. It doesn't go across US. So you have to bear that in mind. Even your graduate assistantship, it's work. You can put it there. Even, internship and all that is work. How much more OPT? OPT is also work. You can use it. So that's what I would say. I think that's what I got. I know you gave some other context, but I got that as the main question you asked. I don't know if I missed any other one. If you can say it again.
Yeah, actually, that's actually basically that's basically the question I asked. So the only thing I actually added is about my profile and what and how that profile can actually work for the NIW, which I mentioned about my background in accounting in Nigeria and then my certification of being a chartered accountant in Nigeria. And now coming to the US. So I came to the US master's in finance, but later I changed. I switched from finance to data analytics. Also master in data analysis. Yeah, I'm still currently going through the program. So the thing is, I've actually gone through the slides. I mean the Google Docs. So I'm just at loss as to how to address and what to pursue. I mean, how to pursue the application, the EB2 application. So that's why I just came up with, maybe if I got a job, maybe the job is all I'm going to rely upon to for my profile to strengthen it.
Yeah. So, I mean, for NIW, I mean, like they say, it's not compulsory you have a job to apply for it. Though, of course, the job, especially depending on the kind of job, can help it. So, like, with a background in accounting and, doing data analytics. So you can then, for instance, say, okay, now things like financial fraud, you want to prevent things like that, and so it will now be, okay, financial fraud is an issue in the US, and your proposed endeavor wants to, reduce, financial fraud, for instance, by leveraging on your expertise in accounting, like the forensic accountant, and using your skills in data analytics. You can even then decide to be looking at forensic fraud in the angle of cybercrime, preventive fraud in the angle of cybercrime, which still ties in with your endeavor. So the main thing really is look for an area in US, and that's where the research comes in, to find out what area is really a big deal to US at this point in time, and how can you use your skills to back it up. It's sort of like the way when we did our visa interviews, our F1 visa interviews, we had to make our profile synchronized and have a logical story when we told the deal. So just imagine your EB2 I-140 or EB1 I-140 as that. It has to tie in. I mean, like the same way, you were able to convince the deal to give you the visa based on, you have done accounting and you want to do, data analytics or, master's in accounting. Just have that at the back of your mind. Because another thing to bear in mind is that the main thing, what your marking scheme is your proposed endeavor. You need to get that right. because if you don't get your proposed endeavor right, every other thing will be marked. Every other thing that you put there will be marked based on what you put your proposed endeavor is. Just like, research question, for those in PhD, masters and all that, it has to be right. So spend time in seeing what areas of importance to you is, how can you tie your skills into it, and then every other thing can flow from there. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I get it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. I will take the last question for today. Okay, the person is not responding. Uh-oh.
Hi everyone. My name is Jubril. So I want to ask a question on the EB2 petition again. So I have a background. My BSc is actually in food science and technology, but then I went. Can you hear me?
Yes. One of the person I omitted before just came in. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I have a BSc in food science and technology from Nigeria, and then I moved to the UK to in innovations for my master's program, which is kind of tied to food science anyway, because I don't really prefer the academic line for sciences. So I prefer the professional field. And then I came into the United States for something totally different entirely. It's an MFA program, which is for like writers, but it's like terminal degrees. It's like a PhD program because it's terminal. You don't need to, that's the peak of it. But it is not necessarily tied to anything I've done before. So my question is it possible, because now I have my degrees in very different fields anyway, but my MFA is still currently ongoing in the United States. So if I want to put in an application in right now, I'm on an F1 visa. So how do you think I would have to like put everything together if I'm going for the EB2? And if I'm going for the EB1, I have a couple of publications, but let me just focus on the EB2 right now. So thank you very much. Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Olu, can you please respond to him?
thank you.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, sorry, could you ask the question again? I didn't get that.
Ah.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
try and be succinct as much as possible. So I have a BSc in food science and technology, right?
Okay.
And then I went to the UK for my master's in innovations and startup, all those management courses, which is kind
Okay.
of like tied to my food science anyway, because
Mhm.
I prefer like professional fields rather than academic when
Okay.
it comes to like sciences. But then I moved to the United States, right, which is on something totally different. I'm a writer.
Okay.
So I got funded for an MFA program, which is like a professional degree for writers.
Okay.
And it's like a terminal degree, even though it's like master's, but that's the peak of it. Is more like a PhD program. So
Okay.
I'm hoping to like put in my application for maybe an EB2, for instance.
Okay.
And I don't know how it's kind of like tied in. I was talking to someone some time ago, and it was like, it's got to be like on one progression or something like that. But apparently, I'm not sure whether the person really
Oh,
has in-depth knowledge like you guys
oh,
do.
okay. All right. So if I would say something, right, from your previous profession, which is in food science, do you have years of experience on that? And do you think it's something you would want to continue doing?
To be honest, I can't really answer that, but I can maybe provide proof to show that, okay, this is what I'm passionate about. But to say that that's what I'm going to continue doing, I don't really know.
Yeah, so because the thing is this, right? If you look at your own self and look at all the evidences you have, and like for example, your years of experience and publications or whatsoever thing you have based on food science, because it's possible you can make your case on food science and still not going to, and get approved and still not going into food science at the end of the day.
Yes.
And you could as well also, if you feel like you have things based on what you're working on writing now, if you feel like you have things that also makes this current thing what you're doing currently important, if you feel you can make a case on that as well, you could also do that. So it's not compulsory that you should get yourself confused. I feel like you should sit down, evaluate, and see which one is much stronger for you, and use that to make your case.
Okay, because
it might be so because I don't have full details. It might be that okay, you just came into the US last year and then you're a writer, or 2 years ago, but yet you don't have enough things based on your current situation to file a case.
Exactly.
And it might be that you have enough on the previous thing to file a case. So why not just go with the previous one?
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? You know, if one has been studying over the years, there is hardly any time else for anything else. So after I finished BSc, I was in my first master's, and now I'm on second master. So there isn't really like enough time to maybe have work or this or that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
yes, I fully understand what you're saying. So the most important thing is you looking at your own case and okay, if you feel like you can't look at it well, it's something we can have a call after this meeting, and then you tell me what you have based on your previous case and what you have based on your own on what you're working on currently, and I can suggest okay, this one will be stronger for you.
Okay.
You get
yes, I would definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, it's and again and sometimes when you look at your case, it might be that your current field is stronger and you just need to add one or two things to make it much more okay to be able to submit an approved case to the US government to USCIS. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. I think he got the answer. So I think that answers his question. Okay. So without further ado, thank you so much, everybody, for coming today. I would like to touch on some major things before I end this chat here today. So we've spoken about EB2 NIW again. Occasionally, we will do these webinars to refresh our minds, to answer questions and the likes. First things first, if you are self-petitioning for this EB2 NIW, in recent times, we noticed that a lot of people have received RFEs. And some of the RFEs are avoidable problems. While, yes, it's cost a lot of money to maybe get a lawyer or consultant to help you to do this, but if you have written it yourself, please make sure you send it to somebody to read and to tick that, okay, if you are filing, for instance, if you are filing for advanced degree, do you meet that criteria? If you are filing under, if you are arguing for exceptional ability, do you meet at least 3 of the 6 criteria under that? Then the NIW itself is like, there are 3 prongs that you should meet to satisfy the NIW criterion. Number 1, are you well positioned to advance the procedure? The proposed endeavor. 2, is this your proposed endeavor of national importance? And of course, 3, is it beneficiary for them to waive the labor certification for you? Now, many people claim that, oh, what I want to do is so good. There is a labor shortage in that area. So if you are giving me the green card, I will fill up this labor shortage. No, the NIW is not an avenue for to fill up labor shortage. There is an EB3 option. There is the H1B lottery pathway. There is, like, for instance, OPT people also feel a large chunk of labor shortage. There are so many avenues that the government has created to cover up for labor shortage. So if you are claiming labor shortage under prong 3, you are actually doing yourself a disservice. And most of the time, even that word labor shortage is sometimes it's like they put our petitions in a database and it searches for keywords. When it says labor shortage in your application, it marks you down for RFE. What is RFE? RFE means request for evidence. If you have ever received an RFE, you will know you do not wish it on your worst enemy. Some can be easy to, maybe they ask you like advanced degree, you can easily prove that. But if they're asking you to argue for national importance or why they should waive the labor certification for you, you will know that is a lot of work to do. Mind you, if you are submitting an RFE, please do not, let me calm down and say it again clearly. If you add new materials that you have not initially included in your petition, okay, I think I need to be clear on that. So, for instance, when you submitted your initial petition, you had about 3 citations. When you got an RFE, you have had about 20 more citations. That is understandable because continuously people use your work, so the work is growing, people are using it more. So that's different. However, if, for instance, when you initially filed your petition, you have a master's degree, but you did not put it there that you had a master's degree, or maybe you acquired a different scenario anyway, the reviewer, the USCIS reviewer, might deny you the petition and say, when you initially applied for this thing, you did not put it there that you had a master's degree. So suddenly now you have a master's degree. So any document, that's why we say, calm down, do this thing very well. Like, get somebody to help you. Make sure that you do this thing right the first time so you don't repeat it. So don't rush to submit your petition. Make sure that you are submitting a very well-written petition for this thing. I think it's really, really worth it when you do a good job at submitting a good petition rather than rushing and submitting an half-baked petition and then having to deal with an RFE later. So on the WhatsApp groups, for some people who prefer to self-petition, we provide a service, well, not me, provide a service that they can help you read your petition and make sure that, okay, you meet the criteria. Okay, this petition is well written. And they will let you know if it is not well written, what you need to do to make changes to it. If you have friends that can help you to proofread your petition, that's fine. But whatever you do, that's $700, don't waste it. The $200 or $500 that you will spend to make sure that petition is correct, I think it is worth it. And like I've mentioned earlier, I will repeat it again, because we are starting the new year. That's the more reason why I'm holding this meeting, is because we are starting the new year. Last year, you had many family issues. You had many personal issues. You are building a mansion in your village. This year, leave that mansion. This year, problem not dey finish. Focus on yourself. Spend that money and do this thing for yourself. To file this petition. If you need to pay for somebody to do it for you, pay and do it. Contact lawyers. There are lawyers here. We have a barrister Fola here. By the way, I have to put everybody, or some consultant that you can use that we have on the groups. I'll put some of their information in the chat here. You can contact some of them and work out a means and find a way to pay them. Or if you cannot afford, if you want to do it yourself, write it yourself. But before you submit, let a professional read through it and make sure that your petition is well written before you submit. I know that what I'm saying now might sound like I'm stressing you or I'm repeating things, but I assure you, for anybody that has gone through this process and gotten a denial, it's a lot to deal with. It will affect you. It will affect your work. Sometimes it might even make you feel like you are not doing well. And it does not matter whether you have 1 million citation and you have done 1 million publication, or you went to Harvard or MIT. There are people that have stellar profiles. Some profile you will see, you'll be like, wow, this is good. They would deny them. They would deny. Why? Because they did not write it well. Because they did not meet the points. And also, there's also the part of the grace of God there. For if you are a Muslim, if you are an atheist, whatever you believe in, if you don't even believe in anything, you already know that the universe does not hang on nothing. There is a part of good luck there. Whatever you believe in, pray to it. And I pray that God will help us this new year. Someone asked, how often are denials issued? Not so much. It's not so much, but yes, they are there. The RFEs are what we noticed that are a lot this year. The RFEs this year was too much. It was massive. It was massive. So, especially for EB1A, because yes, we are saying it's maybe straightforward, but please consult somebody. Consult somebody. If you need a reviewer, we provide the service, fill the form, send your document, they will review it to you in 72 hours. Calm down, you will send it. If you want to send your documents, don't waste money paying the courier fees. Just use USPS, or if you want to use FedEx or UPS, it will get there. That's the fact. It will get there. Don't rush. Take your time. Do this thing very well. Who calls me? Okay. Please, that's all I have to say today. And thank you so much for joining. Okay, I think that's all. Do we have any pressing question to review? No. Okay, if you are yet to join our WhatsApp group, kindly join our WhatsApp group. We appreciate everybody today. All right, I will open the floor now for, I don't know if there is anyone that is still interested in answering any question, but the Zoom and the YouTube is open. So if anybody is interested in answering questions, you can go ahead. I'll just unmute everybody.
Yeah, a quick one. I've written a message on the platform asking, I'm a PhD in from an American university with accreditation from the US. I've also done an evaluation of my master's certificates earlier, some years back. Will this demand that I do a new review evaluation of my certificate? Thank you.
Hello.
Sorry, I got
The
question.
volunteers to answer the questions are gone.
No problem.
Okay, I don't think that system will work because a lot of information are coming in. Please, Mr. Jubril, can you react your question? I think I can take that one before I go.
Me?
Is it Jubril? I thought the person that asked the question now was Jubril.
No. I wasn't the one who talked now, but I have a lot of questions anyway. If you want me to ask another question.
No, don't ask another question.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Well, someone was asking for scammers. Yes, so scammers are real. Please, before you pay anybody to do EB2 NIW for you, verify you. Ask us, ask people, ask around. Ask us. So many people are falling into traps. So please be careful. Be careful. That's all I will say. It's your hard-earned money, and it's not fair to waste it. And then another thing I will say also is that by nature, we Nigerians, Americans, the customer is always right. They treat customer like God. But our African people, when they work with you, sometimes they do you as if they are doing you a favor. Meanwhile, you are paying them for the service. So please, Some of the people that have put their name here, I've worked with them, I've spoken with them, I've seen the way they relate with people, and I know that they don't treat people in a bad way. So work with somebody that will take your case, like Parista Fola, for instance, she's a lawyer, but she'll take your case and treat you like a priority, not like because you are paying money. Here we have so many people. There is Ray Height, there is Olamide Drodola, we have Ahmed Victor, they have spoken today, Olu Mastery. Some of these people, if you can afford them, their money is it is well. But please don't fall into the hands of scammers. Okay, Daisy, can we have you? Daisy to the mood.
Hello, I'm here.
All right.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Please, do you mind, Daisy? Don't mute yourself. Let me just quickly answer this person. When is the best time to apply for EB2 NIW? Please, you can apply anytime. I know somebody who came in 2022, this student joined the PhD program, came from Nigeria to join the PhD program. The moment this student arrived in the US in August, he entered the US in August 17, 2022. This student decided to do this EB2 NIW pathway. She started writing. She got a consultant to write for her. She applied by, I think in October, she applied for it. This girl has collected her green card as I speak to you now. So if you meet the requirement, apply, don't wait. Please go ahead, Daisy.
Okay. My questions are, I think some of my questions have been answered because I was wondering if EB1A will be better than EB2 for me to apply for. But with the information I got from the professionals on this live broadcast, it's obvious that I might have to work extra. So I think EB2 might be my best bet now. My second question is, what advantage is there when you use a lawyer as to when you use a consultant? I know sometimes we try to reduce the cost because I spoke to a lawyer. Lawyer is a bit pricey, but to get someone to write the petition, I think it's cheaper. But I would really want good advice on whom to go for to get the end goal. Then my third question is, I have F1, my son has F2, but I came before him. I came 6 months before he came. So my F1 expired in November. His is going to expire in May. And I was waiting because I applied for, I'm trying to go to Canada to renew, or Barbados to renew our visas, but I was waiting for his own to maybe get close to being expired before I go, so we can just go together and renew. So I don't know how many months before once F2 visa expires, it's okay to go for a new visa.
Okay, so about the visa thing, this group is not for visa, and I always say that on the group, so I cannot answer question on the visa thing. Now, on EB2 NIW, I will be honest with you. For the I-140 part, your visa can be expired and they will still approve you. There are so many people that have applied with an expired visa and they are approved. That's why on the groups you see, I say that all this stress about you going to Dominican Republic, Canada, Nigeria to go and renew your visa, sometimes you are just stressing yourself. Because it is when you go into the second phase that this issue of visa, Nigerian passport or Ghanaian passport expiring ahead. I do not know how they did it, but so many people have applied with an expired passport and they've gotten it. Now, the issue of visa is separate. When you say expired visa, what do you mean by expired visa? Let us be clear on that. Do you know that as an international student in America on F1, let's say, for instance, you came into America in 2016, 2015, for instance, they give you 2 years visa. Now, you get the 2 years visa when you got into America, and your master's program ended in 2017. That's when your visa expires. But in 2017, when you graduated with the master's program, you got into a PhD program. So you started the PhD program in January. From that January 2018 till now, you have consistently been in the PhD program, or you have been in school. Maybe I went from one school to another, or that. You are still in status. Why? Because consistently they give you an I-20. So when you submit your I-140, part of the document you will submit is your I-20, your I-94. So your visa, that is your US visa, can be expired. That 2 years could have expired by the time you apply for your NIW. You will 100% be approved, because you are, if you are on F1 current status, your I-20 is still current. It is only when you have gone out of status, maybe when you graduated and then your OPT ended and then you did not go to school anymore, you just went out of status, then that's when you have a problem. But if that is not the situation with you, this idea of going to do drop box in Nigeria or to go and renew your passport in Dominican Republic, in Canada, you people are stressing yourself. That's just the truth. Because if you have your I-20 and you are still in school, you are in status, you don't have to go and renew that visa because you want to do I-140. But the part where I said I'm not sure of and I don't understand how it works is the Nigerian passport or your Ghanaian passport or your UK passport. If your passport, the passport is different from the visa. Your passport is your passport. That's, yeah. This visa is just a stamp that is stamped on your passport that you can enter US. If that passport has expired, hey, you may need to renew it. But many people have applied for EB2 and they still got approved without renewing that. So that's what I would say on that visa thing. Okay, now because I've spoken too much on the visa, I've forgotten the other questions you've asked.
Okay, I talked about the importance of using a lawyer as per a writer to write.
Okay, yes, I remember now. Writer and lawyer, it's entirely up to you. It's your choice. It's your choice. However, I'll say this much about the difference. Some lawyers, if the lawyer is filing on your behalf, sometimes they will be the one to, arrange the documents themselves. So that might be an added advantage. Other than that, let me see. You can use a lawyer and many people have used a lawyer and they got denied. So the fact that it's a lawyer does not mean they do a better work. That's a fact. Actually, maybe lawyers would even waste your time more. And then another thing is that some lawyers are very specific about certain profiles they need. So you may talk to some lawyers, they'll tell you that you don't qualify. But if you do it yourself, you realize that you will get it. So perhaps a lawyer might, except, for those, okay, you want to be sure about, maybe some people like to be 100% sure, okay, I want a professional, I want everything to be done for me. And then they use a lawyer. That's fine. But other than that, I don't know. Makes really no difference. Okay, is that all?
So, yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
So following on this response, so the petition writers, they don't gather the document. They just write the petition.
You said?
The petition writers.
Oh, no. Sorry for, I think I didn't say it right. They will help you gather documents together, all the evidences you need. What I mean is that some lawyers would, okay, when you finish writing the petition and you fill out the forms and all of that, filing the document neatly, like knowing what comes on top, what is, the next, how to set your exhibit, how to label them, it's a lot of work. So sometimes it might take you like a whole day or 2 days to get it right. Some lawyers provide that service. Some consultants too provide that service, but not all of them provide that service. Some lawyers too don't help you to organize the file. They will tell you go and their work end at you writing this thing and submitting it. So I'm just saying that in filing means in packing the documents, like, what document comes on top, what comes next, what comes last, putting it in a file or in a box and sending it to the USCIS. Some of them will use their address so that when you get any notification, it comes directly to them. Yeah. And then another thing also is that when you submit your petition, you can create an account on uscis.gov to follow your progress. As they advance on your work, you see it on their website. They would update it every time. If you don't like to use the USCIS website, because some people, they are scared, they'll be like, if I have my information there, then they will see that I'm checking. So people just have different phobias. You can create a lawfully.com account, lawfully.com. You can download the app on Play Store or App Store if you use iPhone. So you can download lawfully.com and you can use that to, track your case. Yes.
Okay. So I have an F2 out of the country. Does the application also affect them coming into the country if I start?
Usually it shouldn't. Usually it shouldn't, but we have not, I don't know, we've not seen a case of it being a problem, especially now that F1 is now dual intent visa. It's not supposed to be a problem. So I don't know. I've never seen someone that said they denied the F2 dependent because he was on EB1 pathway. But many people have different fears. People have so many things that they've just put in their mind on what is allowed and what is not allowed for EB2. Sometimes some of them are myths, really, are not true. It's a matter of this person said, that person said, and really not what USCIS says. Yeah.
Okay. So I think you helped me in a lot of ways, but I'm still more confused.
You can that's why I say this thing is like a class on its own. You would learn a lot. Like the more you take your time to learn about it, the more you get more information about it. Can a person travel out of the US with a valid visa after they have applied? Yes, absolutely. Like so many people have asked that if they submitted their I-140 and it's under review, or if they have collected approval, can they go out of US, maybe go to UK or go to China? Yes, you can. You can do that. Can you organize a class for us? Me. Can you afford me? I'm just
Top lady,
joking.
can I ask my question?
Oh yeah, please go ahead. But please let me answer this question. Did you say F1 is dual intent now? Yes, it's on the USI's website. It's dual intent. Okay, please go ahead.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you very much, Toyosi, for the Google link you shared. I got all the information I need from there, most of it anyway. There's this particular webinar you did with Daniel Barr, so I keep watching that video over and over and over again. So I have a master's degree in architecture. I'm a registered architect back home in Nigeria, and I've been practicing for like 20 years now. I do a lot in real estate and affordable housing. But in 2016, I started a nonprofit. So what the nonprofit does basically is to campaign against wheelchair anytime installation. And right now, yes, and right now we have we're one of the subcontractees with UNFPA Nigeria. So they're funding the project for us in Osun State for the next 5 years. And I've received several awards from that. So my point is, I need somebody to help me to weave my story. I've spoken to Umu. She said I need to weave my story because my proposed endeavor is to come to the US and continue that with immigrant communities and to provide support for survivors. You get my point? But I just need somebody who is really, really good to help me weave my story. I know how to package my documents, prepare my file, send in the check, and all of that. But I just need somebody to help me weave that story properly.
Okay. Are you considering EB1 or EB2?
EB2.
Well, somehow you may actually qualify for EB1, actually.
Really?
Maybe, yeah. Look, I want to say to everyone here today, before you settle for EB2,
yes,
okay, can we just, in all honesty, just go on the EB1A page and read our 10 criteria and actually see if we qualify for it? I say a lot of us might qualify for EB1A and we might not actually not be going for it because we feel, okay, let me first of all try EB2. Why waste the money? If you may qualify for EB1A, why go for EB2?
Okay.
Yeah. So for you, I would suggest that you speak with either of us or I've posted the information for the.
Yes, I saw Drodola and Fola's number.
Yes, so you can talk to them. They understand your language better, so it can best help you. Yes.
All right. Are they consultants or lawyers?
Fola is a lawyer. Olamide is a consultant.
Because I know consultants might be cheaper. Lawyers will be more expensive, you know.
It's not true for EB1A, but either way, most EB1A consultants is a little bit high up there because with EB1A, the wording, the way you write the petition is different from EB2.
True. Okay.
So it's more of that, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll reach out to them I'll reach out to them
and you can send me a message on WhatsApp.
I've been in your DM like 1 million times.
Okay. So be my DM again.
Okay, I will. And thank you so much because we didn't even know about this. So you're doing an amazing work, and hopefully somebody in Nigeria will recognize you and give you MFR. Thank you,
Hey, Chineke, God of heaven.
You know, people hoard information. So for you to even be able to do this and provide all the links, I've been writing my petition, and it's from what you posted. Seriously speaking, it's from what you posted. And I tell people the information is out there. Most of the courses I've gone for is because I was sponsored, and it's because I checked online and I got the information. So people are just information. Everything is in that Google Drive that you shared. So thank you so much, Toyosi. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Okay. Somebody else has please reach out to them. Don't forget, help is available. Yes, it's a lot of money, but sometimes, like I said, we spend the money on things actually. And I have a friend who I spoke with last year, January, about this. This my friend was a Kenyan, so she was building a house. Yeah, and then because it was a large project, so she was spending a lot of money, sending money back to Kenya to make sure that everything was working on fine and all of that. But then she was on OPT, so she was working with a company here in America. She was well paid technically. But then in the middle of the year, so she heard about the EB2 NIW anyway, and then she had started working on it. She had submitted her petition. She could afford the premium processing, so she paid for premium processing. In June, she was let off from the job. Product managers know how the last year was in the market for product management. And then, market was slow. She couldn't really get a position as soon as possible. But then she had the approval because she submitted her petition quite early in the year. So she was able to, because as at that time, the USCIS had not made the rule clear that you cannot apply for adjustment of status, when your date is not current. So she had applied concurrently for both. So she had a EAD card. And when she got out of job, she was able to divert into another role. I think she went to do Scrum Master or so. And then she was able to switch into that. I hope it expired in August, but she had an EAD card, so she was able to switch role. She's still fine. The only thing that suffered was the project in Kenya. She could not send money between January to that August. Guess what? She has finished the project in December now. Why? Because she was able to continue to make money, got a good job, and then continue paying the money. I know I'm saying this thing repeatedly. It's the beginning of the year. I'm repeatedly saying it. That your project that you are spending the money on, focus on this EB2 and do this thing. The project will not go. It's there. If it's not a matter of life and death, focus on this thing and do it. Thank you. Okay. Ese Ogene. Did I say it right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, over here is good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for this amazing opportunity. I've listened to everyone. Though I've actually put a question there. I'm in the UK.
Okay.
Yes, I got to the UK and I got into the healthcare sector as a skilled worker. Yes, the goal is to actually be in the US. So I've heard so many stories about degree. My degree is, I have a BSc, but it's a Nigerian degree. I don't have any international degree, apart from the one I'm chasing out that is related to the health field. So for me, I'm just wondering, for someone that has a BSc, my background has always been in sales, marketing, business development. I got into the health sector as a manager. I'm now thinking, how do I marry this together? And which of the visa be appropriate so that I don't.
I will not lie to you. If it's on case by case, this question you asked now is a case by case analysis. Based off of what you said, I cannot determine which one you will qualify for. You still have to talk to a consultant. Oh, by the way, let me say this too, that I think all the consultants by now they should have left this meeting. So let's talk in-house. Now, some of them, they charge a consultation fee, $100, $50. Let me advise that if you want to self-petition for yourself, sometimes you may not honestly be able to afford their charges. However, if you do a consultation, even if it is for them to help you, streamline, okay, these are the many ideas running through your mind. This is what you want to start with. I think it's not a bad idea. Some people, some lawyers charge up to $450 to speak with you on this thing. Some charge $250. Some lawyers charge $20,000 for this, in case we don't know. Some consultants charge $10,000, but on the group, no, I don't think there's no consultant that charge higher than $5,000 for EB1A itself. That's for EB1A. So please, if you need, for a starting, if you need to speak to the consultant to help you, if you want to self-petition, most consultants provide this service too. Well, they will much prefer you to work with them, the lawyers, they will much prefer you to work with them, but even if it's to ascertain that you qualify for it, I don't think that $50, $100 is too much to spend. And by the way, so did I answer your question? I know it's maybe not directly answered, but it's something that somebody has to sit down and sign with you. Okay, I think she's muted. Okay, Taye Olugbemi says, can a person based in Nigeria apply for NIW and still apply for B1, B2 while the process is ongoing? Wait, the dual intent visa is for F1 and F and M visa. So I really don't have an answer to that. I cannot say yes or no. Maybe you should speak to a lawyer on that.
Okay, so I'll talk to a consultant. But anyway, there is one of them, surely I will be qualified. I'll talk to one of the consultants.
Yes, one of them you should qualify. Yeah. Oh, and if you don't mind me also saying, for majority of us here, so when you start this process, you might actually not qualify. That's why today is first day of the year and everybody is visiting and enjoying the New Year parties and all that. And because in America here, it's still daytime, it's 2:30 p.m. where I am. And we are taking the time to discuss this thing because we want everybody to succeed. When we all succeed, it's better. You may not qualify yet for this. Maybe you need some things to add to your profile. If you want to apply for EB1A, for instance, you can use the next 3 months or 6 months. Pick the 10 criteria, pinpoint what you can achieve on those lists that can help your case. For example, you can find you can still do an original work, maybe write a book, maybe there's so many things you can still do. For media publication, you can still get a media to publish about you. There are things you can still do now in this month of January now. If you focus on your focus and determine that, okay, there are 3 criteria to meet. I don't have any of them. In the next 6 months, I want to meet 3 criteria. If you set your mind to it, you will definitely meet those 3 criteria. Sometimes it might even take you a whole year, but it's worth it. But when you say, they said I did not qualify, that's it. I know a lot of us know these things, but I'm taking the pain to say it because I've seen people who did not qualify in 2021 and they did not take any step towards qualifying. And I've seen people who did not qualify in 2021, but they decided to take steps. They published papers. They volunteered in their community. They they went to secondary schools and they helped to judge science fairs, art competition, debate society thing. They volunteered in their local NGOs. They went to research labs around them. Sometimes it could be for people in Nigeria, the medical lab. If you do medical labs, this thing, you can volunteer there. There's a public hospital near you. You can volunteer there. They volunteered in labs. They went to universities that they finished from. Fine, they are not paying them for the service, but they volunteered there. All of these things count towards your petition. They took their time. People went ahead. They took their time. They went online. You look for petition. Let me tell you, sometimes if you set your mind to this thing, you will realize that because you want to do this EB2 NIW, you have actually built yourself and built a wonderful profile for yourself. In the next 5 years, you will appreciate the fact that you went through this pathway because some of the things that you had to, look for and gather to make your case and make your petition, it's your own. You achieved it. Regardless, even though you were appreciated for EB2 NIW, but you have bettered yourself. I know there is the Lean Sigma 6 certificate. There are so many classes on Udemy, on Coursera that you can take, LinkedIn courses that you can take. Take them. Take them. It's your own. It's a certificate. It's your name on it. It can help you, So can someone who is currently battling RFE apply for and get admission in universities in the US? Yes, of course, you can. The dualness of F1 makes things easy now. So, okay. Yes, Lukman.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm a bit confused.
Okay.
I'm thinking of applying for EB1 or EB2. But the problem is this, when I look at EB1, I think I have all the requirements. For instance, I have more than 13 publications with close to 100 citation, or even if no more than that. I have Scopus publications and others. At the same time, I have national award, maybe 2 national award. Then, and I have my PhD in economics, in international economics. Then the problem is, people around me do advise, go for EB2 NIW, not EB1. But when I look at the criteria for EB1, I think I have more than 4 or 5, I met more than 4 or 5 criteria there. So the question is, if I choose to go for EB2, or can I apply for the 2 at the same time?
Yes,
that is 100.
One. Yes, you can apply for the 2 at the same time.
So another question is, the 3 forms, are you going to fill it at once, or you fill it one by one. After the first approval of the NIW, then you apply for the second one, adjustment of status also.
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
I said the three forms, I think there are three forms for NIW. The first one, I-140 or so, something like 140. That you apply, you submit to the NIW for approval, national interest waiver. So after that, so are you going to submit all the forms together at once, or you submit the first form, wait for the approval? After that, you now submit second form.
Okay, let me repeat again. There are
Yeah,
two
sorry
steps to this EB2 NIW. The first one is the I-140 NIW approval. The second step is the I-485 if you are in the US, adjustment of status. In the first step, you are submitting 3 or 4 forms. The most important form, there are two most important forms there. That's the I-140 and the 9089. Those two must be submitted. Now, the form G1145 and G1450. The G1450 is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, is for the notification. All that does is just tell them to send you an email when they get your document, or text you when they get it, so that they can send you your reference number and you can easily use it to track your case. The second form, the G1s, are the second G form is for credit card if you want to pay by credit card. So it's not all that compulsory. If you are not paying by credit card, you don't need to fill it. The third form is if you want to do premium processing, that's form I-907. That's optional. It's 2,500 to do the premium processing. So that might, if you don't, right now, if you are filing for EB2, I don't even see why you should do premium processing. Like, what's the point? Because they are currently retrogressed. So right now they are on January 2023. That's the case, February 2023. That's the case they are currently treating. So there's no point really doing the premium.
Okay, what about EB? What about EB1?
So for EB1, yes, the same forms, I-140, 9089, and G145 if you want to, G1450 if you want to, and of course premium processing if you want to. Is the same forms you submit.
Okay.
So it is the forms you cannot submit right now are the adjustment of status forms. Okay.
Thank
Yeah. That's all. This question is long ago. DP1 group is by request. So on our WhatsApp group, you get the information on that there. Now, I'm so sorry. I should have spoken about this before the meeting. I ended it at 2 p.m., but I'll say it now. Please, we have this project we do on the groups. We call it the 60-day petition project. The 60-day petition project is simply a program where all people can come together and then they can file the petition. Okay, Ibukun Adesina, please ask your question, because there's background voice coming from your end.
Okay, thank you very much. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Very low, but please go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. I've really learned a lot from all that so far, and I'm also on your group, the WhatsApp group 8, and I've read a lot about this process. So I really appreciate it. But I just have a concern that it's not even about my profile, or I just have a question that I'm just talking about, and I wouldn't know if you know. Okay, after all this now, NIW, everything I've got to add, my concern is that when I get to the United States, is it going to be very easy to get a job? Like, I'm in the academia.
I can't hear you. I cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, sorry about that. So I said I just want to have a question that is bothering me. I've learned a lot about all what you have said today and all the files that have been posted on the WhatsApp group. I'm on WhatsApp group 8. So now to ask this question, now because I'm in the academia, and let's assume now my process is completed and I have the green card and I'm in the United States, is it going to be very easy for me to get a job in academics? And the reason why is because I have some friends that did the like the UK Global Talent that track that they use for the UK, but many of them when they get to the UK, they don't get jobs in their area of profession. They end up doing something different, which I personally don't like. So I just want to ask that, okay, it's from your own experience or people that you know, when they get to the US, is it easy to get a job in that area that they wrote their petitions on to continue, or you just have to go and sort yourself and whatever you get is what you get? So that's my number one question. Then my number two question is that is it compulsory? What if after I get to the US and I feel like, oh, I still want to come back to Nigeria and be working. I don't want to really stay in the US. Is it allowed? Because a friend was telling me that I will lose the green card if I don't stay in the US for a certain number of time. Because I would like to go this route for my children, really, just for the children. So I just have those two questions that bothers me about
Sorry,
this whole
your
process.
second
Thank you.
question, I did not get it in the particular
Okay,
question.
Yes, my second question, I said that, okay, if after I got to the US, even if I get a good job that is in line with my area of specialization, that's like the area I petition on, if I get tired and I feel like coming back to Nigeria, will I lose the green card? A friend told me that probably I can't leave the US again or something. I'm going to lose the green card. So these are just the two questions that bothers me. Thank you.
Okay. First question, just like your friends in the UK, immigration is not a straightforward pathway. Number one thing is when you get the green card, you still have to look for the job yourself. You still have to make sure that you secure the position. So yes, you may get the job in the field, you might not get the job in the field, and you may need to change career, you may not need to change career. However, if you're in academia, I do not think you should have a problem because generally in the US, they are always hiring in academia, always hiring in academia. So I don't think that you will have a problem technically with academia, especially if you are a distinguished person already in your field from Nigeria. Yes, that's about academia. That much I know because I know usually I think all the consultants have gone, but I just want maybe somebody to chip in on the issue, on this issue of especially on academia. Honestly, for me, I always know that with academia, it's more like it's not a perfect way, but it's not perfect like set in stone, but usually getting a job in academia is not that hard. It's not that hard. Yeah.
Okay.
However, it's not set in stone, like even with healthcare. Healthcare is that one field that many people you always find a job. That's why many people, when they come to America, they do nursing because you already know that no matter what it is, you always find a nursing job. You always find a job in healthcare or like caregiver and the likes. You always find that because it's a huge field that always looks for people. But with academia, it's currently now you find more Africans and Asians, especially Asians in academia in most universities now in the US. So, and they already, especially if you are from Nigeria, they trust our value, they know what we bring to the table, they respect our academics. So, yes, I don't think you have a problem with that.
Okay.
100%. And also, even if not in academia, academia in Nigeria might be maybe just one way, but in America, there are so many, it's so diverse. You will definitely find to do what you want to continue to do in that field. It might be in a different sector, but you will still find that in America. Somebody just posted a website to find academia jobs in America. It's massive, and they respect us Nigerians a lot. So, yeah. The second question on if you get the green card, would you be stuck in America? Okay, it's two answers. Number one, when you get the green card, so to get the citizenship, there is a required amount of days that you should spend in the US to get your citizenship. So you are not stuck in the US. You can travel. That's why they put it at they say number of days. They do not put it as number of months or number of years. So they will count it based on the day for you. If you meet that number of days, you will get your citizenship. And with the citizenship, you can go anywhere, you can do like you are not under any kind of restriction anymore. Now, with the green card, you are not also under restriction. The only thing is that you are not a full citizen. So, because you're not a full citizen, you still have to fulfill the requirements to become a citizen. That's if you want to. But you can travel out of America at any time. People that are on F1 visa, they are also, it's just like people that are on F1 visa, they are not stuck in America. They can go out of America at any time that they like and come back, provided their graduate programs allows it. People that are green card holders too, they can travel out of the country. Some people that are on green card, they spend 6 months in Nigeria, they come back here, maybe they spend 2 months here, then they go back. Some people, you will find that they are on green card for so many long years. Why? Because maybe if they had stayed in America for 1 full year or maybe 2 full years, they would have qualified for. Let me correct that. With the EB2 NIW or EB1 pathway, you must spend 5 years on the green card before you can get your citizenship. That's statutory. You must have been on the green card for 5 years before you can now. After I think your fourth year is when you can apply for your citizenship in your 4th year. However, if for instance you receive your green card today, you come to America, you spend 3 weeks here, or you even spend 1 day, you can go back. Or you may not even come. Immediately they give you the green card. You might spend your time in Nigeria and just come maybe for holidays, spend 1 month, or maybe work here or do what you need to do and go back. So there are really no like restriction on it. I don't want to just be the one sharing my experience because I'm not a lawyer, neither am I a consultant or a professional. I just know a little about these things and I feel like to share with everybody instead of just knowing it, and it does not serve me only.
Thank you
Try
very
to,
much.
yeah, thank you. I'm trying to see if any of them are still here because I told them it was going to be 2 hours, so I guess they've all gone because this is first of the year. They have so many people consulting with them, so I can understand why they might not be here. Do we have any consultants on the meeting? Maybe raise your hand. Okay, none. But I think that's generally what they will say. So I don't know if that answers your question. Does that answer? Okay, I think she's gone. My recommenders have some specific years of working experience. That's tricky. So for instance, if you are getting a recommendation letter from there are some specific fields that maybe they are like new field or so, and it's not really that high up there and all that. The years actually, or maybe the age. Somebody asked about the age of the recommender. Oh, the age does not count. The person can be younger than you also. Your recommender can be younger than you. So their age is not a point of reference. And also for the EB2 NIW, anybody can apply. Age is not a requirement. A 5-year-old child maybe, you know, there are some junior children that they receive their bachelor's degree at age 7, and some people receive their PhD at age 10. So there's no restriction on age. And some people, they don't receive their own PhD until they are age 60. So they do not judge you based on your age. Okay, any other question? I think in 9 minutes we should be done. See, questions like this, like I have a PhD in chemical engineering, I have a master's degree in environmental engineering, am I qualified to apply for EB2? Those kind of questions, I will be honest with you, nobody can answer it for you. Why? Sometimes it's just a straightforward question. Do you meet the advanced degree requirement? Yes, you meet it. Simple. Now, the 3 prongs that you need to fill, that the prong 1, national importance, 2, or is it beneficial to waive the labor requirement? Are you old? And 3, are you well positioned? Now, you now argue for those 3. But those questions of I have I've worked 10 years experience, I've done this, I've done that. Sometimes you may need to talk to a consultant to determine this for you, because we might not be able to fully answer the question here. The 60-day petition project I've started today, but this week I have not posted the link to the WhatsApp group or any of that, because this week it's supposed to be for you to think about it, to determine if you qualify, ruminate on it, take your time, or take your time. Basically, that's what it is. Take your time, think on it, and be sure that you qualify for it. I've put the link to what is required for the 60 days in the chat now. So you can think on it and see if you are ready to commit to it. If you are ready to commit to it, by next week, we'll open the groups. Must your recommender be US citizen, or anybody can recommend you? No, they don't have to be US citizen. Your professor from Nigeria can recommend you. Your medical doctor from Nigeria, your somebody that quoted your work that lives in Iceland can write you a recommendation letter. They don't have to be US citizen. There are 2 types of recommendation letter: independent letter and dependent letter. Please focus more on the independent recommendation letter. Very, very important. Please focus on the independent recommendation letter and not on the dependent recommendation letter. The independent recommendation letter carries more weight than the dependent letter. Now, let me explain. What is dependent? What is independent? An independent letter is simply somebody who might not have a direct connection with you. Maybe somebody that read your work, your research work, or somebody that used the app that you developed, and then they use it for their business. Say, for instance, you created a kind of Uber, and then Uber might be like high up there, but say you develop a system for FHA, HSA payments platform, and then maybe the medical doctor that runs a private practice uses your FSA, HSA system to take payments from their patients. So, or maybe you developed a way to test for women to know their menstrual cycle clearly. So a medical doctor that recommends your technology and the testing kit to the gynecologist that recommends it to their female patients to use, can write you a recommendation letter. Now, that's independent recommendation. The person might not know you directly, but they are you got their number from or you got their contact from the doctors forum, and then you know that they use your service. Or that kind of person, or somebody that quoted your work or cited you in their work, or somebody that is high up there in the top, maybe the director of an institute, or that maybe you are working on virus, something related research, the director of the Institute of Virology can write you a recommendation letter. The person might not know you directly, but they can write you a recommendation letter based on the fact that they can ascertain that your work is good. Now, dependent letter would be when your supervisor writes you a recommendation letter. That's a good example of dependent recommender. That is somebody that knows you very well. They know you, they know your work is good. It does not water down the value of the letter. Nonetheless, shoot more for independent letter rather than dependent letter. Okay, we are coming to the end of this meeting. Please let me post the link to the WhatsApp group again for those who are interested in joining. If you have written your petition yourself and you need somebody to help you proofread it, we have posted the link on the WhatsApp group. You can contact them. They can read your letter, and in under 72 hours, they can let you know if it is good to go for submission so that you don't have to get RFE and have to deal with that. Peer review and double filing. What's double filing? Do you mean to submit EB1 and EB2 at the same time? It's allowed. You can submit both at the same time. It's actually a good way to lock in your dates. Yeah. Must my recommender have to write on letterhead paper? No. But it is better they write it on letterhead paper. Now, if they don't have a letterhead paper, that's fine. You can design their names. Their names can be the heading in color. And please, very important. Don't submit original documents to USCIS. Last week, somebody went to submit their original certificate I added the original copy of their certificate in the USCIS document. We had to recall the entire petition. So, and I don't know if the person will lose that priority date now, but we don't know what will happen. But if the person did not even find that out and the whole petition went through, every document you send to them, they will trash it. It's going to be shredded. So please submit only photocopies. Never submit original documents. For the recommendation letter on letterhead paper, you can put the person's name as the heading and submit. Okay, I think that's about it. I will put this information for professional consultants. I'm going to retag it on the group now. Okay. For anyone who wants to contact them to use the service. And I think that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much. And everybody have a wonderful new year.